as he takes the timing here. He can make something happen. Sanse could come in for the support on a full belt.
Monster's gonna catch timing. Now that's why not down. Frizzy out in the big garage, unable to be stopped. He's picked up a quad feed in this round. Phenomenal work. Fisher College into their 6th victory.
And now a little bit of a pause out. You're going to need to talk about it for a moment on the Cincinnati side. As soon as you get things going and they go a little bit sideways, you have all these timeouts. Take one. Make sure you can iron everything because, I mean, they have a 3-round lead, but in this MR12, things can go so quick and you could really just end up back into this 9-9 before you even know it. Make sure to find the problem now.
Good point. Yeah, take a moment to figure out where the problems lie. But here's the reality: this round is important for 2 reasons. Number one, Cincinnati don't really have money, so they got Mac 10s and Tech 9s, which, I mean, we'll come back to in a second. Still quite a deadly combo right there. But it also allows Fisher to potentially build up economy for an AWP.
Here it comes. Molly down, smoke out in front of it, but now Monster. Oh, this is going to be an awkward one as it all falls down. And Fisher, they pick it up. That is such a quick one.
Yeah, not quite the 3-kill number that Cincinnati were looking for the econ damage. Is there enough money for an op? Yeah, Joxo has just enough for it. I don't know. They're not going to drop it over. A surprising turn of events for how effective the AWP was on the CT side from Siege.
Frizzy will start things out confidently outside. You know, you've seen these players stack up a couple of these rounds now. You see them start to really lean into their positions, their protocols with confidence. Frizzy, being one of the most strong players on this side, is always going to have this mentality, but you really see it with the way they play. Why not force all the way up? Could be going for something at ramp here.
This is a good bait setup at the ramp side, right? Why not kind of out in the open there? Maz in the same position, a bit of a wider swing. Maz will make contact, and then Why Not will swing or wait for them to walk into his crosshair. That's the plan, at least.
Oh.
Why Not's going to get a forward position. Maybe a bit too aggressive. Maz gets one, but it's not enough to equalize that trade. That sure is, though. So, and Frizzy ring out at the same moment.
Yeah, and you were alone right there. Had to get it down. Smoke, you've been put right as you needed it, but timing is timing, and you will get caught. But now trying to travel up to the roof. Roscoe looking for it. That's a nice kill back into the 2v2.
Incredible that Roscoe is so aware of that push. Really unfortunate for the Fisher College side, but 30 seconds. Cincy gotta hurry this up, Marky.
And they could just go out straight onto A here. Tatum up above. Let's see how he decides to play this, and they will just drop down. But surprise, surprise, you can't run for very long. Frizzy right here to intercept it.
Frizzy in some trouble here. Trying to deny that plant, but no dice there. Waiting for the timing. It's Tatum on the door, and Tatum with the double spray down. Apparently through the smoke, if you count that HE grenade, but quick and simple. Fisher College, you know, a 2v2 that could have gone very differently. Frizzy, I love how patiently he played that.
I would agree. Don't get overzealous. You're baiting out for it, and I don't know if they're so ready for Tatum to just shoot down the vent, shoot them down both. I mean, the dominoes fall there, and Tatum is all there for it. I mean, it is such a beautiful course of events. Fisher now within one.
Why not? Getting that opening engagement. That's an op recovered from the hands of Roscoe in the last round. A bit overzealous maybe from Tatum. Walking through as that smoke bloomed. Juxo here to seal the deal. 9-all. All tied up.
In a blink of an eye, just like that. we were all tied up. And I mean, this is sort of what we saw in the second half of Ancient. Fisher were able to get off to a 5-6 round little burst right here. And I mean, it's sort of looking like the same thing. Now you finally got this pause called out. Cincinnati, you've got to find a solution to this, but Fisher getting onto the CT side of Nuke. This is, like we've said, I mean, one of the more favored defensive sides in the game by far. Tatum, Why Not, Frizzy, all these guys having such Counter-Strike minds on this side for really every scenario. I mean, they're going to pull it all out. They want to close this thing out in a 2-0 because, I mean, if there's any map to not have as a map 3 if you're a Falcons fan, it's to have Mirage, right? A map that completely focuses really mostly on the momentum that is carried from the individual plays. So right now, Cincy, when they're winning these rounds, they're getting a lot of those, and I mean, that's not a map you really need to find yourself in that situation on.
Yeah, I think Mirage, as you're alluding to, lends itself to the individuality, you know, the AWP, by the way. I mean, as much as I think that Why Not's played a pretty good game, I feel like the highest impact up has been for Cincinnati as a general rule here on Nuke. That domination that we saw from the CT side has yet to be felt because we haven't seen the AWP come to life yet.
And now after that double pause called out, had to get an extra one, make sure we were all good. And now we are 9-9 is our score. And now a very nice buy in for the Falcons. It's pretty nice for in Cincinnati, but I can't say up to the same level. I mean, you look at Roscoe. This man does not have a single nade to his name.
Yeah, at least he got the armor, though. There's no glass cannons here. There is that small victory as it is. Well, outside control being worked by University of Cincinnati. They'll be down secret. They've got someone to deal with. Somebody by the name of Tatum. Juxo to meet his maker.
And not exactly leaked out a ramp. Really, a lot of these positions being just teased by Fisher College right now. Excuse me, by Cincy. You saw Tatum gone down the ramp off of that Cincinnati aggression.
That's a big whiff.
Oh, man. They're not going to know it either. I mean, in front of that smoke, they're going to assume this is clear. And now in this 4v4, this could make the difference. And now this flash out, or that's another smoke for door. But 40 seconds left. They're going to have to leak out of this one. It's coming down to all out of vent right here. This is crazy. Look at the x-ray. Oh no.
Rizzy just gets a little bit impatient. Why not still in the back of the site? He's here to deny the plant. The no-scope hits. That's no plant for the moment, but time to get it back down unless Tatum can do the same. He's looking for another. The doorman dead as a doornail. It's Roscoe to fall and Tatum to save the day.
What a great play by Why Not on the op right there. Just holding the trigger discipline to get one, get the bomb planter. That allows time for Tatum to bounce back up, deny the plant again, and just close it all out. The Fisher Falcons, they have fought back late in this one. And hey, then again, who needs pistol rounds when you got these big gun rounds just like that?
I mean, to put it into perspective, Fisher, as much as they've been in this whole game, have yet to lead. Cincy have been in the lead the whole time.
CJ now walking back in.
An expensive deagle that CJ has.
Love to see it. Those are some nice gloves as well. CJ styling in the playoffs. We'd love to see that. Can he capture any heads with it? Mollied off for a moment. Oh, man. Okay, CJ, we see you. Styling. I got a soft spot for the Gamma Dopplers, I will say.
Ooh.
Okay.
Juxo. A little bit of a rough situation, not looking towards the kill. Frizzy under pressure, tagged down to just 14 HP. Isn't in the best of scenarios. Audio cues giving it away, but that Tech 9 is a tough gun to be dealing with on the op. Double swing, and it's even better. Fisher College starting to fall apart to 2-on-2.
Yeah, and they're out of position as well, but there is Tatum The one place where you can't fall, he is there and now has the information onto that second player. Frizzy from afar gets put down. But right now, it's just the battle of the vent. Oh, that was...
Oh boy.
That's a little bit of an anticlimactic way to end things off. I can't believe that, though. Cincinnati, that's the way you tied up at 10. That was insane.
Not quite sure what was going through Tatum's mind there. Was he trying to fake a reload and then did reload?
Maybe he realized he had no bullets in the chamber, and we're going to be going with a little bit of a tech here. I believe we're having a player disconnect, but... yeah, unfortunately, Tatum just caught at the wheel right there. Unfortunately, not paying attention. And, I mean, you're going to get tied up just like that, the little ones.
Hey, that's a mistake we've all made, but it's also a deadly one. As, you know, you fall asleep at the wheel for a moment, could run straight into something else, i.e. a rifle in the hands of a Cincinnati player. Freaks out, Elucidator back already, fortunately.
They don't want to lose that momentum, right? Tech pauses can really be a killer to some, but really just a momentum booster to others. And I mean, it's kind of weird that you say that, right? Some teams, they play better off of the bye week, right? They play better off of the pause. And I mean, Fisher College, they are certainly a side that can say that, but let's see how they utilize that timeout. Let's see if they put anything going.
They're on their last gasp when it comes to economy. Moz has great timing through the edge of this smoke. Monster will fall down. Tatum hears him coming, has the support of Frizzy, who's been phenomenal as an outside player, currently in secret. The op of Roscoe and CJ's AK left in the 2v5.
Roscoe coming back in there from lobby and just holds onto the door. Everybody regrouping. You're trying to get desperate on the spams. I don't know if anything like that is going to land. Maybe some regression through Hut. Player real close to this.
And there is 50 seconds to play here, Marky.
Oh, Tatum.
Out of bullets once again. The USB will do the damage, so he'll dodge and dip right through CJ. That poor man had nowhere to go. Nade on one side, enemies on your left, enemies on your right. What do you do?
Not much you can, but now the Falcons have found 11 and they will keep on rolling in this one unless stopped because they've just boosted their economy for a little bit, right? This is now where they can thrive for just a moment, but see if Cincinnati have a little bit left in the tank. Roscoe does on the op.
This is getting ready to be an explosive ramp hit. Audio cue just given away. Moz, not spotted initially, has some space to take shots and fall away.
Falling away he has down the ramp, and this is a valuable position because there's a lot of information gained. Watch your J-Hall, he's probably screaming as now the fight has been taken down to this lower site, and just like that, CJ will find that as the rotations come down. Frizzy outside has been caught as well.
Now Tatum has to be a hero. Sitting in double. Why not's collected one frag of his own. There's a lot of space that hasn't really been given up. Cincinnati don't have confirmation of the site itself. Or rather, they do, but they don't have the outskirts, decon, double door, and control, so they're going back up to A.
Monster is down here holding at the clock, getting ready for Sonsic to meet him halfway, but suddenly there could be a bit of an audible on this as now back up the ladder. Tatum has found that player that was stuck at Bravo base, but now there's a bit of a position that needs to be swapped. Tatum to go back in through mini. Let's see if he's got anything in the 1v2.
12 HP, it's such a massive ask, but you're not going to be giving this up at this scoreline. One flashbang. Actually a boatload of utility here for Cincinnati, but neither of them are using it at the moment. Just waiting things out, kit in hand, gives Tatum the possibility here. Just gonna force a fight early. Take this fight, not looking the right way at CJ. And Tatum knows the time is evaporated. Sonsic will win the round, though might lose his life.
Yeah, and secured that exit position. Tatum did with that kill. It was very nice. But the Bearcats, they are not done fighting out of their map pick. There's a reason they picked Nuke right into the Falcons' den. I mean, right now they are fighting so hard down on it. One response after the other. And at a certain point, the Falcons won't be able to respond. They've got them right where they want them.
I have a question. Do Falcons go into den?
They sleep somewhere. They could call it a den if they would like. I don't believe so. They might rest in a nest.
Yeah, probably a nest. No, you didn't know, Marky, but coming into today, this is actually a biology test. I know you were studying for some math earlier this week. You forgot about your biology.
This is art imitating life right now. I had some zoology work today, you know, now, and I guess it's unfortunately not paying off. I should hit the books.
Listen, we've all been there. I too need to hit the books, though in the math class, that is, because listen, I may not be counting right, but it's looking to me like OT a possibility in this one.
Certainly so. And now Tatum, a flashback in. He wants to finish this thing out now. He wants number 12, and the damage is there, only to get one more player. But Tatum, he wants to take this thing forth. There is Roscoe getting 2 back forward with the Galil.
That's a little bit over ambitious, but Grizzy, how many times has he saved the life of this team in this map? Grizzy picks up 2 on the outside position, and Maz, who pushed through ramp, catches a unaware Cincy player walking his way out A. Now, Fisher, they don't need to fight this. They can just let it happen.
Yeah, they're just going to let Sonsik work into them. Maz has this position to try and peek into Mini, but when you're at the second vent, it's only a matter of time. And now 1 dent into the side of your head and you're dead just like that. 12 found for the Fisher Falcons.
Here we go. Cincinnati, their last chance, but their money is not good at all. It's bad news for them. Without a bomb plant, they are working with Galils at best. They got an AK in there, but is that no armor on an AK? Oh boy. Oh no, he's got armor. What am I saying?
Got to be fully equipped in this one because you're not going to have another chance. Maybe considered over towards ramp. We know they've had some success over there, especially when these close quarters fights don't go their way. Suddenly, Maz does not get away and ramp opened up. The rotation is there though.
Fisher thinking that they had some space to work with, and now down a man. Waiting for this A take. Cincinnati. Light on the utility. They're going to use what they can. What a spot from Tatum.
Oh my goodness, and the timing as well. It's all so perfect.
Misses.
Tatum is Electa, and all pass, and he does shut that one down. Sonsik, and it's all gone in a blink of an eye. The Bearcats are as well. My goodness, Fisher College get that 2-0 and move on to the semis. That is a big victory for them.
That it is, and I mean, Frizzy and Tatum, the it factors throughout that second map. I mean, I think Frizzy's gameplay from Garage, just outside in general, was the thing that I was most laser focused in upon, Marky. But Tatum had some incredible moments as well. What I do want to say though is the consistency with which Fisher were just always in the game. They never were letting some of these deficits that they were at get to them. They always felt as if they had maybe not a game plan to get back into it, but they were never out of it.
They were never out of it. And I mean, that really just goes to show the experience of Tatum, all these guys, really. I mean, I don't think they come out of that thing with a single pistol round victory. And I mean, that is insane. That's insane that they take it right into maps. I mean, it's just very, very impressive and shows all the work that they've done to work on these post plants, the big situations like that. Their players are really individual. Later on, just winning those fights consistently. And I mean, that's what made the difference and what sparked that comeback. I mean, there were a couple rounds back and forth there at the end, but when it gets down to that nitty gritty, I mean, that's where Fisher will shine, and they did.
Yeah, and let's talk a little bit about Cincinnati, because I think as a squad, this team deserves some plaudits. Like, they played a pretty darn good game. We saw some consistency across the board. I felt like the AWP in that first half was a huge part of their success. You know, limited as it was a 7-5 half, so it wasn't like they dominated, but they found some good moments there. Talk to me about the key differences that you were seeing. Where did Cincinnati falter in this matchup?
Cincinnati, you know, we can give them their praise, right? Just like you did. I mean, they had a great performance in this one, and unfortunately, they did falter in a couple of different situations, right? We can go all the way down back to map number 1, where it really looked like they could have just ran away with that thing from the start and never let go. But there were a couple times, right, where it's hard to be perfect against a team like Fisher, and starting off really good is a very good start. But unfortunately, in those rounds where they had trouble finding that map control, they weren't able to find a second option where Fisher was really just on each page and wasn't letting go. I mean, each position really, when they were just out of options, Fisher was just back there saying, hey, we're not going to give you a chance to think, we're just going to shut this thing down. And I mean, that's how map number 1 ended. But I mean, map 2 is an interesting one. Like, you see why they get the nuke up in that. Unfortunately, I think it just comes down to the same thing, right? After map 1, we were sort of pointing out the faults of maybe the late round, some of those momentum boosters just changing later in the way. And I mean, I feel like it was just honestly maybe less of the faults of Fisher, or excuse me, Cincinnati, but maybe just that greatness that Fisher has. I mean, shining in the post.
Well, you talked about thinking. We have the critical thinker here for Fisher on the line. We got Tatum here for the interview, so let's bring him in. Let's have a conversation here as we joined by Tatum. First of all, hey, congrats on the win, Tatum. That's semifinals locked and loaded. I do have a question though, and listen, I'm front loading this one. Can you guys buy a pistol round win? Like, could you make a purchase in a shop somewhere and get one of those?
All I know is it's not my fault. I get mine every time. We're gonna have to drive on that and work on the pistols.
You did have the dually kill it door.
Yes.
I'll give you that. You know,
that is true.
You turned around and everybody else was dead. That is fair. Let's just talk a little bit about this matchup. I mean, what was y'all's expectations coming against the game against Cincinnati?
Yeah. No idea who they are, so I was perfectly fine with playing them. Did they even have a level 10? I don't know, but pretty good.
All right, Marky.
Pretty good, Hitchy. Tatum, you know, we can talk about these maps that it's coming down to against Cincinnati. I don't know if it's quite in the hourglass like that, right? In the microscope, right? But I mean, you're looking forward to these semifinals. I know there were some hiccups time and time again on some of these maps, but you guys ironed it out. I mean, are you guys just looking to run it through the semis and into the finals?
Yeah, that's what I'd like to do. I definitely want to experience the Nace LAN. I think Nova has like 3 back-to-back wins, so I got to catch up to him and hopefully beat him.
Amazing. No, that'll be a very, very nice sight to see for sure.
Hey, fair enough. I do have to ask then, because you guys are potentially slated to play RIT in the semifinals, you know, depending on who wins this next series. You can know those guys over there, and what is your thoughts on that? That's probably one of the harder runs through the finals.
Yeah, no, we played in their cup and they beat us pretty good. They reverse swept us, and I think they're the best team we've ever played. So especially with this roster, I think it'll be hard to beat. But I definitely think we can do it.
All set.
Cool. Marky, any final questions before we say goodbye to Tatum?
Well, we can sort of hear that you guys, you know, you're loud in that room. There are a couple rounds where maybe, you know, I could definitely picture you, why not, getting crazy. Was the hype there tonight?
The hype was there. There was a lot of insults being thrown, and there was a lot of loud moments, and it was a really good time. We had a lot of fun.
Amazing.
Well, cool stuff. Tatum, before we do let you go, anybody want to call out, say hello to while we have you on stream?
Yeah, shout out Why Not FPS. Taught me everything I know. Wow. I literally would not be the man that I am without him.
Oh.
Gotcha.
Nice.
Alrighty. Well, thank you so much, Tatum, for taking the time. Always a pleasure to get to talk to you, and best of luck in your next games, my friend.
Thanks,
Congrats,
sir.
man.
Appreciate it.
Well, already, Marky, that some confidence there from Tatum. I think though there's some measure right there. I love Tatum's confidence against a team that he feels he knows that he has a better squad against. But when talking about the potential of an RIT matchup, he gives the plaudits, gives the respect. He's like, hey, like that's a good team. I don't know what the outcome will be. I think it's good to have that mentality of come out swinging, but know some of your potential limits.
No, certainly. I mean, you're correct, right? The tone gets really serious right there, right? RIT are no team to shrug off. I mean, we're probably about to see them put on quite a clinic against University of Kentucky. But I mean, we love seeing MJB. I know that there is a bit of a meme, right? He plays for Darkest Hour, a team that I've covered before, and I like to give him some, I just like to bust him a little bit. MJB, he puts in the work, but I mean, you'll see it in the server. He'll lead his squad into it, and I know he wants to get to that LAN as well. But hey, man, only one team can go from it, but they got to get through these quarters first.
Yeah, exactly. It's a situation of got to be who you're in front of, and Fisher taking out a strong opposition. I mean, listen, Cincinnati putting together a very stalwart defense against a Fisher team that I think it's not unfair to say, like, you've got in the top 5 here for NACE. Like, you got Stony Brook, you have RIT, you've got Michigan Tech, and who am I missing? I'm missing one, and then Fisher. I'm missing one person. Like, this is a difficult opposition, and Cincinnati put up a darn good fight. But nonetheless, we are going to talk more about that RIT Kentucky matchup soon enough, but we're going to take a break before we do that. Stick around for our second best of 3 coming up right after this.
Toxic therapy from your vape.
Can't sleep? Listen to my voice. Your friends all bailed on you. Your crush thinks you're thirsty. The planet is dying. Keep obsessing till 5 a.m.
Vaping nicotine is associated with sleep problems. Find solutions at thetruth.com.
Hey there, what's going on? Is Counter-Strike. We got more of that coming right at you. My name is Vincent. I'm joined by Marky, and we have one more best of 3 on the docket for tonight. Marky, talk to me about it. We got RIT up against Kentucky.
Yep, we finally do, and we've been really dying to see them from the beginning of the season. RIT finally taking on Kentucky, one of our fan favorites here. All right, we saw Fisher take it in the 2-0 earlier today, but RIT going into this one right now, they are red hot, and they've got a pretty interesting opponent. Kentucky going into this should really give them a good shot, but RIT, they're really hungry to move forward. I know that Fisher is just talking about really even considering them moved on past this. I know that that might give Kentucky fans some motivation for this, because that is not how I want to be talked about.
No, yeah, I mean, I wouldn't feel the same. And listen, I was the guy doing the talking, so I understand Kentucky probably not too happy with me, but a very strong RIT roster on the forefront. And let me paint a picture, tell you a little bit of the story, Marky. Cast your mind back to the spring season of the NSL League, where RIT made it to the LAN finals and lost to Drexel. They lost, and it was a 2-0 as well. So this is a team that's looking for a return trip back to the LAN environment. That's going to be at Boise State later on in December. So, like, the fact is that RIT are looking for this. On the other hand, though, Kentucky, they're a team. They're actually the only team. If you cast your mind back to September 8th, that was week 1 of the NSL League for this season. They're the only team that's taken a map off of this RIT team. Is this Kentucky squad. Yeah. That is impressive.
It's very impressive. And I mean, when you come later in the season, you look at these matchups, and I mean, the fact that you do have this is a very interesting thing. So, I mean, we know that they can get forward on it. Kentucky, right, in this first best of 3 that we did see, things are a little more lopsided in the overall score, right? You know, Fisher, they were going in against an opponent who may have been, unfortunately, below 500, right? That might bring up some concerns from some people, but I mean, there was no concern there. And I mean, Fisher, they were brought up to challenge. This time, RIT, they don't have as free of a slate. They don't have as good of a challenge. They will really, or they do have as good of a challenge. They will go into this one, and they'll have to bring their best game, Vincent, because this will be a battle.
That it will. A battle between 2 squads that we can take a peek at right now. And talk about some roster moments here. We've talked that is the wrong logo. We talked a little bit about this RIT team. We've mentioned MJB, but not actually the only person to talk about on this team. K2 is actually the most experienced player on the squad. Incredible when it comes to the aim skill. Has that advanced experience. Benji, Proto, and Uni rounding out that roster as well. On the other side of things, though, this Kentucky team, they're a strong roster, but I think there's one man that comes to mind when it comes to Kentucky. And I'll let you take it from there, because you were talking to me a little bit about it in the pre-show.
Yeah, so you look at Delano, I mean, this is a guy that does have that ESEA experience that we really do pretty high regard, I would say. You know, I mean, it's a very, very big momentum when you have a couple of these players matched up with Rue right down there. I believe he was the 5th player listed on the roster. And I mean, this is a duo that can get going, and it can be dynamic, right? And I mean, can it match up to the duo of MJB and K2, right? You were talking about K2's experience. When I was playing and I did compete against MJB, he was right with K2. I mean, these two were insufferable, and I mean, you know, excuse me, indistinguishable. And I mean, they're just going to keep hanging with each other ever since, even here at RIT. And I mean, it'll be a very, very good matchup to see.
Exactly. And so with all of that kind of leading into the pick band that we have on our docket here, Kentucky electing to bring us over to Mirage. That's a map that this RIT roster has played quite a bit of, but who hasn't been playing some Mirage? RIT pick Overpass. It is a staple of this RIT team. Not just the RIT team, but like MJB-led teams like Overpass. Even his main team enjoys a bunch of Overpass if you've been seeing any of that. So not a surprise whatsoever. And Anubis, a bit of a bit of a pick that maybe you would be surprised to see, but I know that RIT at least have that in their repertoire. So if we do get to a decider, that's probably a good thing for RIT. Kentucky allowing it through is maybe a bit of a scary moment. All that kind of leading us into this question, Marky. Who do you expect to come out of this victorious?
So I expect RIT to come out of this one how they are planning on going into it, with fire, right? They got to go into it strong, because I mean, if the expectations really are for them to go up against Fisher next weekend, then they've got to take care of a Kentucky team, that really is hot to trot in this one. This is the semis. This is where your challenges are going to come. And I mean, if RIT are going to be able to take it, they've got to do it their own way. And I mean, I expect them to come out with it. It's going to be a battle.
Yeah, and I think that getting Danilo activated has got to be one of the biggest win cons here for Kentucky. You know, kind of when looking at this roster, this is not to undersell the rest of the team, but Danilo having that additional experience and Rue that you mentioned, like that definitely adds a lot of our eyes to those individual players, and then everything else is kind of, you know, plus side from there. So as we look towards Mirage, we'll talk about that more in a moment, but before we do get there, I do want to mention one thing that's happening here at the NA League, actually in partnership with Ubisoft. We're developing a video series for a little later this fall, and it's featuring select schools that are actively involved in the Rainbow Six community. If your school does have a strong competitive program or just a vibrant community that you want to share with us, we want to hear from you. Just apply now over at playfly.com/rainbow-6. That's all you got to do to get involved. Playfly.com/rainbow-6. It's going to be awesome. We would love to hear from you, and we would love to see you applying right now to get involved with that. Lots of fun to come. As listen, R6, we've had a good time this season, as we continue to do that just on Thursdays instead of Fridays here for Counter-Strike.
Certainly so. And I mean, I was someone that really, I was a little unaware to the hype that this game had, right? This last month, I've been doing some watching of R6, right? Most recently with this Atlanta Major, and it's such an exciting game, especially here in the collegiate scene.
Indeed. So, with all of that said, we'll shift our focus back over to Counter-Strike DOS and talk a little bit about Mirage. I mentioned that just as just a couple of things to point out. This is a pretty darn good map for RIT, generally speaking. Is there any points that you want to bring up for Mirage specifically?
Yeah, Mirage, we were looking at it to be our third map in our first best of 3 earlier today, and I mean, we didn't end up seeing it. Mirage is one that usually you're not going to really see teams go out and pick unless they're looking to make a statement on it, right? I mean, this is going to be a series that's a bloodbath, to say the least, and Kentucky, they're knowing they're going to have to swim in it, are going to choose where they're going first, and it's going to be Mirage. So if they're going to come out in this one, right, you got Overpass coming up second. I mean, we were just talking about how RIT in any MJB-led team, this is going to be a cornerstone of their map pool. But I mean, when you go to Mirage first, this is really a map that both of these teams can play. And I mean, RIT, you're coming out on it. You're clearly having some expectations. Let's see you meet them.
Yeah, I think for me, where I'm standing about this map pool and for this series is, as much as I want to see Kentucky kind of bring their best foot forward, this is a 5-0 RIT roster going up against a 3-2 Kentucky squad. And as much as that is impressive that, this Kentucky team is the only team to pull off a map win on that RIT roster, that was all the way back in week 1. There's been a lot of time in between then and now. I think that Kentucky need Mirage to be good. That's where they have to make their mark, because Overpass and Anubis, I'll be honest, I think it's going to be an RIT heavy map too. We jump into the action. Miragi up first. Let's get it rolling.
And we will. You're going to be seeing Kentucky get on at T sign to begin us. K2, you're starting off on that defense. The confidence has to be there. Let's see how Rochester decide to kick this thing off.
Palace Popper, that's what's coming up first for Kentucky. About to head out. Uni on the defense. Just gonna play it. Oh, edge of the smoke there. K2 getting a free shot. Uni goes down. The rotations are in. Benji up and ready. Gets the first frag, but falls as the bomb gets planted.
Bomb planted, and now a 3v3. Smoke down as well, but there is one of your players removed in CT, and now it's only a matter of time. K2 is low, and that will maybe be a foe that you're going to have to exploit, but now the bomb is tapped, and so are you. RIT, that is how they will get on the board first.
Indeed, indeed. Fisher, they could not find a pistol round victory. RIT not having the same trouble. We'll see how Kentucky fare as we move forward. But a nice diffuse of the situation there with MJB's kit. Here we are, Kentucky bomb plant. You know what that means, Marky?
Oh, yes.
Time
Oh, yes. Get up with those Galils. It was a little surprising when we saw Fisher avoid that on their ancient pick, but now it is out in full force. Kentucky, they want to answer right now.
Cool Noob was a little late to the party, but got out the guns just in time. 4 A1Ss for RIT, though. This is by no means going to be an easy fight. They're lacking a lot of the utility that you would have liked to see from a CT side early round, but the reality is that you really do need these rifles against the Galils.
K2 just patiently waiting at the top of connector here. A lot of silence across this map, but it's about to get going. K2 will stay. Oh, and just like that, so much damage. Dinks across the board, and there's your opening kill onto Benji.
Geo tagged low. Speaking of low, another player tagged down. Rue's going to get the trade onto K2 as Kaysen falls. Uni from under Palace as MJB activates from Cat. A bit of a wide swing of the pendulum, where Kentucky now lacking. Bomb in hand for Cool Noob.
See if he can be the coolest of them all. Up here on Cat, 35 seconds remaining, and turns the corner. Does get out onto MJB. Both of these other players, 100 on it. Does have a cool path right into B right now. A smoke onto the site, but he will not pass. A second found for RIT, and a great one at that.
Everybody get involved there as we end that second round. And Kentucky, I like the thought process there. They didn't get too over aggressive. They just took mid control. But RIT's decision to just let them take that control, realizing that they don't have the utility to take or fight for mid beyond just an initial poke or prod, and just realizing, you know what, we're going to play contain, and that was what gave them the victory.
Couple of P250s, a Glock up as well, but the Deagles are going to be hard hitting. The MP9 will be at this range. K2 is going to close it as he gets nice and personal here with a ramp. Geo right around the corner from it. This thing could get started soon.
Pretty pure when it comes to the ecos. There is, I guess, a couple of upgrades here. Never mind. You got a couple P250s. Even the D for Kaysen and Rue.
Ooh, and they're just running around with it. Just biding their time. Even the FAMASs can really shut you down. But might be...
It's the only time you'll ever hear that.
Yeah, certainly so. The Galil's out, and we're done last round, but Benji, being knocked out of it, wasn't able to bring one of those over. Unfortunately, finds himself on the FAMAS. Vincent, you know I like to troll in matchmaking. I don't even have the FAMAS equipped.
Do you really not have the FAMAS equipped?
Yeah, yesterday in my league match, I was like, what am I doing?
What do you have equipped instead of the FAMAS? The AUG?
Yes, it was the AUG. I was seeing, I believe it was a couple of these different players inspire me. You know, last week on the broadcast, we saw the AUG pulled out as well. The AUG, excuse me. It is quite the weapon in CS2, I will say.
Yeah, I've been watching like some of the CCT matches that I've been casting, Marky, and there's some augers out there. It's not fake. It's real news right there. The AUG is a different beast nowadays.
Certainly feels that way.
I will say, I saw some Kriegs today, and that's not the move.
Yeah, I just don't know, man, if the Krieg will ever come back. It was a weird phase, that's what we'll say, for the scene. You know, we've been using M4s and AKs for 20 years. The Krieg was an interesting 8 months, but I mean, we'll store that one away. We'll keep it backed up. But the AUG is a nice switch up, I will say. But right now, they're getting it going with everything they can, even the FAMAS getting us that opening kill.
So, tossing a switch up right now. All right, T, straight down and over to Kentucky. Nice find. The timing on the case in there was phenomenal. With Benji gone, it's a 3-on-3, and K2 simply an MP9 in his hands. It's not the best of weaponry, but it'll have to do.
Nade bottom of Con, looking for something. One player already out towards A, trying to find where these players will hide. At least one player known towards CT heard both of those rifles rattling off, and now there will be information gained.
Love Benji's push. Or rather, that's K2 pushing all the way through into TV room. He might get caught. There's a engagement over there with Cool Noob, but it's just timed perfectly. Rotations aplenty. Here at the A site, no way to get onto this site and get the bomb planted just yet. Cool Noob has it in hand. But he does have a CT smoke as well. K2's timing is of utmost importance.
Of utmost impact, possibly, as well. Just dragging behind it, and now the bomb plant, it will be cemented. Was able to switch positions into the 2v2. That flank is expired.
They're going to get the opposite triple plant at the very least, and they'll both try and fall back. There's a Molotov, or is that a smoke? It's hard to see. Smoke is available. There it is. Go onto the bomb, and will do so for Proto and Uni. A little tap the first time. Is it going to connect? Jason starting to get a little bit terrified over the edge of the smoke. Out of bullets is Proto. Bad news is Proto not going to stick it. More spamming coming through, and this time Proto gets it done. His kit will do the deed. All right, T continue their run.
A run MT just ending in the 1v1, and that is going to be of utmost importance to save that gun over. $8,700 in the bank account, able to share the love now. You will not be facing any other way than forward. If you are RIT right now, press the gas pedal down, because you are going for an O so far, Vincent, and this is crazy.
Kentucky still with guns, but now death found for Danilo. A little AWP out and ready to roll for Proto, though K2 does fall. That's a bit of a problem. It'll be a 4-on-4, excuse me.
Benji smoked off for a moment, but that won't stop him. This cap position is one that they will keep tabs on. Ladder will be another situation, though. Re-smoked in on window, so that position will be denied. But MJB up here at Cat, making sure that nobody is to get back up on this. But off of ladder, this would have been quite the spot to catch him. MJB alone on the site will have to do it all.
MJB trying to dance, but the problem is there's so many players there. Proto rotates in with the op, and Benji doubles down with 2 of his own. Oh, the bomb and the last 2 CTs, both on the B bomb site.
Molly put down as well. Benji, you save him for these late round situations just for that. But can you get back in on that? 40 seconds left, Vincent.
2 smokes.
Oh, no.
Not even going to use them. Just going to take the fight. I was thinking they could just smoke off the bomb. It was 40 seconds left. They had 2 smokes to work with. Instead, Proto's just like, give me the duel. I'm 8-0, baby. 8-0. Let me fight him.
Duality of man. Delino, unfortunately, sitting at 0-5, right? You see how different things can be if you just look to the other side, but Kentucky, this is their map pick. They need to get things going. I mean, 5-0 is not the thing you want to see in an MR12 scenario, and Proto isn't either. Looking like Frodo here from middle as he just sends them down into Middle Earth and shuts them right there. But now they're trying to get back into windows. Smoked off for safety.
Jason tried his desperate best, but that smoke, not ideal for him either. It'll allow some time as, yeah, Proto finally served up his first death. The op recovered immediately thereafter, and it's a flurry of fragging there from the Rochester Institute of Technology. Tigers do the deed, and it's up to 6.
6 is our score. MITRIT, excuse me.
It's a different school.
That's a different school entirely. My goodness. Right now, they're looking to keep that thing rolling over. Maybe the M stands for Mega Millions, Vincent. You ever think about that? Because you're cashing in on something at 6-0. Make it 7-0. They're looking to continue this thing going.
MJB and underpass. Oh, he's had a bit of a nade out the smoke in position, and he gets spammed right through it. But Frodo, he ain't stopping. Might have a death on his scorecard, but Benji pushing forward. Marky, he's got to adjust fast and not fast enough. Rue will shut him down.
Rue is through with stuff like that when you tease him with all of those situations. Uni, he's got to get deep here in A ramp, and that's a nice one to start off. Unfortunately, knowing that there's more there, we'll just have a little bit of time to reconnect to this site before everybody swarms in. Proto still far away as well.
Ooh, a little bit of a weird timing there, Case, and couldn't quite find the frag. Uni under pressure, stuck into Ninja. Not very effective when you've already got a kill there. Rotation, AWP from Catwalk in the 1v2.
Bomb plant going down. All down to Proto, coming in from afar. Both these players jumbled up would have to know that the trade potential is there, but the op will make this a little more difficult. Does have a molly, though.
Maybe he can recover a rifle of some kind. This molly. It's called Firebox for a reason, Marky. Not quite forced out into the open. First shot doesn't connect. It's got to be a nice one, and it is! B250 out, close range! Proto nearly made that happen, but the clutch from Geo will put Kentucky on the board.
That shot to the player under Balk is really impressive. I mean, the flick right there, P250's out. You almost catch your breath in it because you're like, I don't even know how you have gotten this into the 1v1 Proto. So impressive. 11-2 right now, able to rebuy that into this situation. But now, Deleno finally going to have this AWP going. Got his first frag in, I believe it was 2 rounds ago. Now able to start to get this going with the big green.
K2 taking an early fight. And that's an engagement that K2 is so phenomenal at winning. Here's Danilo and his AWP spawning out a man at B, but MJB not interested in taking this fight. He knows it's not a fight for him at the moment.
Oh,
Maybe
no.
it is. Never mind. MJB taking a commitment there. Danilo, I think, surprised at the gall of MJB to go for that fight.
Certainly so, but now dropping players all over the board. MJB, he will just head out of dodge. They've got the off right on it. Proto is going to be there. Oh, K2 connected on by Rue. Suddenly an opening towards A that MJB's got to close.
Oh, what the? That looked like it was a kill for sure. This is a 3-on-3 now. Gotta take this fight, though. Those rotations coming soon enough. Isolating the duel. MJB has his frag. But in the meantime, man goes down. More to find. Rue playing hard to get right now. The rotation of this bomb from Danilo coming through on this AWP.
Danilo rounds the corner, and the off shot does hit. All down to Rue, who was 1 HP. MJB finally does get it through the wall right there, but he had to go all around the world to get it right from B. Through the first 8 rounds, you have won 7 of them. RIT, give yourself a pat on the back. You're already doing so well.
Yeah, incredibly well played in that one. Good patience as well from MJB, I think. And Frodo, continuation of the incredible start that he's had. Love to see that from him. Early mid control. K2 sending it all the way through. An MP9 in hand, but it's only good for the first. Proto, first shot blind. Second, easy does it, but at a few HP, he'll fall away.
He certainly will. Cool noob. Still up on this Mac 10. That's quite a range to hit some of those shots, but Ken as well will try it. Flash right in. Nobody peeking off of it, but they may be getting ready to.
Oh, nice work. MJB catching one man. Cool noob. Quick to follow. Courtesy of Uni's A4. Kentucky, this has not been a good look from them thus far. And I think that there's two things to point out, right? I think that we've really struggled to see Danilo catch that impact that we were expecting. And that's got to be a big problem for Kentucky. Second of all, man, RIT just can't lose an opening engagement, and it's very much due to Proto's 14-2 scoreline.
No, certainly so. I mean, when you have that scoreline on any player, it's great, but especially your opper. And I mean, that's what dictates the score, right? I mean, you've only fallen in 2 of these rounds, one of them being that which Kentucky did pick up. So clear correlation there, right? You take care of the problem and you will just have it solved. So let's see if RIT can chomp on a number 9 right here, because they were looking like they can't help but wait for this pause to end.
AK in Benji's hand as well. You gotta feel good. There's that boost. And Danilo finally getting involved in that opening pick category. And on to K2. Benji potentially in trouble. Oh, he's not. Finds the first kill, a second to be found. But fortunately, there's frags had elsewhere. 2v2 as MJB catches the timing and seems to be aware of this possibility.
Ken still here in jungle as well. The nade will be put up, but that's the position exposed. And now Proto, we've seen him try and clutch up in the 1v2, but suddenly it's never looked so good this early.
Shirking away into Palace here, cool noob. That was a good post plan on paper, but it's gonna be tough. There's not a lot of time left on this clock, though. Smoke for the bomb, a possibility for Proto.
Got to be expecting this Palace position at some point, just sticking it right now. Cool noob, you've got to peek and the stick will come forward, but not enough time. Second found for Kentucky, as now they have a little bit of something to work off of.
Yeah, it's already a pretty disastrous half for Kentucky, but hey, this is where you can kind of make a bit of a comeback. 9-3, not a bad situation to be in, to be honest. 8-4, even better. You can just win one of these last couple of rounds. I would call this recoverable for Kentucky.
Coverable indeed, especially at a map like Mirage, right? I mean, the scoreline this deep, but if there's any situation you'd like to find yourself in against certain situation, right? It's against this one where you're on the back foot, but right now against Nico, you can build your economy, you can build your momentum, and right now you just got to get it out of it cleanly, and that helps.
Certainly does. A little push from the ramp over at A. Now a flank starting to get activated. That's Danilo on the Mac 10, farming up 6, then 12, then $1,800.
MJB, oh, just waiting, shopping in market, but gets caught anyways. Unfortunate situation for the man himself, but one more opportunity for the defense to get this thing into an even better situation, into the 9-3. Right now, Kentucky, if they could get this last round, Vincent, not a complete disaster.
No, I don't think 9-3 is a complete disaster either. Certainly not ideal, but Kentucky, they've kept their wherewithal with them. Proto, though, once again, dissuading any indication of mid-control for Kentucky. I mean, to be fair, mid-control is still being gathered, but it's a hefty cost losing a man to get.
Certainly is, and haven't even gotten any damage back to show for it, but now this smoke placed up in window. Look at Delino's position, just out of ramp like this. They will not be expecting the op to be right out in this position, but as this time ticks down, this position it loses a surprise.
That AWP is This is just such committed angle. Ro8 gonna make the first contact. Kaysen thought maybe there was some space to work with based on the op creeping out. First shot taken, missing the mark. Uni still under pressure, now has to come out wide, gets a dink, but nothing further.
Benji will rotate in, damage done, Proto tees off on another, and now K2 from above will shut you down. Cool Noob, last man around and is put into the ground. Benji, what a nice kill to put us into that 9-3 and put us onto that T side.
Man, what an incredible half, though, from Proto. 19-4. Like, that's a good first half on Global Offensive. That's an incredible first half now that we're in 12-round half.
Almost a mark you never really even hit, like, want to see hit in that first half. 20, anything close to it. For an individual mark, if you are playing against it, is just something that is hard to witness on the scoreboard. But RIT, they're looking to kick things off with a little bit of a contact play into B. Flash to come out. Cat's out of the bag.
That cat coming out with claws, though. It's Kentucky delivering that opening pick. Gotta isolate these duels. Kaysen will get another one, and though Proto gets a frag, he's quickly traded out, and K2 still alive. It's a little bit of a chaotic piece of situation here with MJB, last man standing on low HP, dead and devastated. Kentucky, that's a pistol round they needed.
It really was. It really, really was. And we're not going to see a repeat of the first best of 3 we had today, where we saw the team that came out, Fisher College, win 0 pistol rounds. A big goose egg for them, right? That'll be a point to demo review, but this time they go 1-1. And Kentucky, this is a good place to get started.
They'd be doing some good work on the Glock. Maybe gonna get a second one here. K2 trying his best to do the damage, but Jason on 10 HP, not gonna give him any further opportunities. The Glock round goes about as you would expect.
Right out mid, right shut down. Unfortunate, but the Glocks do get a little bit of damage. It's all right. Not a complete waste of time. And, you know, this is something we've talked about on the broadcast a couple of times. You know, still a place in Counter-Strike, I would say, for maybe so much of a round, really. I mean, there's not a ton that you can do with 5 blocks swinging mid, but, you know, not a ton you can invest to, right? There's no real complicated strat that we can really get this thing into. Sometimes it's, you know, get on to the next.
I just gotta keep it real there and try your best. MJP, his best in this case, not good enough, goes down in the first engagement of the round out at ramp. That'll be a massive push. Danilo continuing to push forward, clears out all of ramp, and now the push up mid is not gonna net Kaysen any further opportunity.
Oh my goodness, but now they have shot right up. Cat 3v3 into this one. You see the HP on that. Rue is going to be low, but Delino, he's going to want to pull that man advantage back anyways. K2, look at this. He snuck all the way up con into jungle. Is an interesting situation to be in. Where he works with this is up to him, but he can do it all.
Bomb in hand as well for Uni. He's going to rotate over to A. Bit of a slower approach for him. So it'll be some time. K2 being watched at the moment by Cool Noob. Position clearly known about, or at least had an inkling of an idea. K2, though, now starting to get antsy. Either needs to go help Uni on this side approach or take a fight. It looks like the side approach is going to be the plan of action. Still concerned about a Palace player. None will come. Oh, where did the bomb go? Uh-oh, bad news. I think I accidentally quick swapped off of that one.
Happens. And now, Rue from CT will look to respond on this. A nice headshot to be backed up on. K2, interesting position for the clutch.
K2 wins these. This is very winnable. Great position. K2's gonna hear him drop. Now he can jump out window, and he has the post plant. Smoke on the bomb.
Smoking the bomb, but now he's just got to spam out on it. K2, he's got to reload. He knows the tap is out on it. That smoke is so huge. He'll swing in front, but is there enough time? There should be. Just coming down to it, and you find number 6, Kentucky. They finally get a clutch one.
Like I said, incredibly winnable. That smoke wins the round for Kentucky. No doubt about it. Phenomenal work from K2 on the 1v3 attempt, but Kentucky, it's 3 rounds to the good as they brought this back here in the second half to a very respectable scoreline at 9-6. Still favoring RIT, but a gun round not happening this time out. It'll be pistols alone.
Smokes down as well. K2 on this Deagle could get it going, and they will find that window player showing right through the smoke into that 3v3 so quick. Case in from, oh my goodness, from Cat. Gets shut down, but then again, straight up Cat will be Benji. Will be good to try get this thing going. I believe he didn't get the bomb there on the cross, but will have a chance to clutch with a minute 20 left.
A bomb down on Cat, a big issue, but it's recoverable. The problem is the time frame. Once again, quick switching. Can't do that anymore. Sorry. Smoke for market window. They'll both go up door. Doubled up as numbers are punched in. Cool noob with a great timing. Catches Benji. Bomb plant, though, and 3 kills on an eco. I'd call it a success for the Tigers.
Oh, I would too. I would definitely call that a success. And now trying to find where that op is, they'll be able to carry over everything that they're able to Kentucky, but the damage done. I mean, this was very extreme to the point where you're dropping 3 players, bomb plants. I mean, now within 2 are Kentucky. At what cost?
Well, at any cost, to be honest with you. Kentucky, listen, this is their map pick. They need this one bad. As we talked about on the desk. Frodo, though, back with the big green. Danilo, who struggled to find the biggest impact in half number 1, has been looking better and better with a big green of his own.
And Proto holding the top of stairs, re-smoked off. The timing, unfortunate. But responded by some utility of their own. Full A set dropped, and now there will be the scatter right here to help the A site. MJB and co. Oh, even through the smoke, you will punish right there with a headshot on Naru. A big head to find at that.
That's Molotov, unfortunately, getting extinguished. So it's no additional pressure, but all the shots from everyone connecting. MJB with a couple of key frags on the entry. But everybody getting involved there with the exception of Proto, who was just waiting and watching for somebody to swing, and he never got a chance to shoot.
Finally, RIT, they've broken the cycle, Vincent. You can get back into this half just like this. I say get back like they really have lost the lead entirely. It hasn't been looking too good for them in the second half, like I said. Now's the time to get it going. Mirage, I mean, you know how many times you've played a Mirage T-side in a pug? It's ingrained into your mind. It's there, and it's never going away. Use that knowledge for power right now, and you can get this victory.
The good news for RIT is that immediately they've cut this. Okay, well, I'll get back to that. It was an eco round. Now it's a real threat. Multiple players here. Proto running away, but cut down on the victory. MJB cleaning this up, or at least starting to, and K2 is just lurking everywhere. Still back to mid-window at a minute 14 as he walked out A, finding nobody home.
And that will probably be to the benefit of RIT. You don't want to get caught by anybody, but there's still a chance. MJB on 50, a dink and a nice follow-up could be scary, but Delano, he's trying to clear out every corner, trying to find a free one.
They were headed his way. This is real tough timing. I think the audio cues were just moments from each other. And Danilo gonna grab an op at least and save that and go. He's actually going back towards the bomb. I think because he doesn't realize the bomb is A yet.
Op found, though. Look at this. Crazy discovery. Can walk back in on it. time ticking away. I'm not sure the round fully up for grabs, but maybe some economical damage. We saw how a nuke, that bomb radius was so unforgiving. Can he get away?
I think he's dead right now. Probably not dead here. Yeah, the other thing you have to think on, the armor, the difference between armor and unarmored as well now, I feel like is significantly different too. Like for example, you can't survive at all regardless of armor in the corner of market at B with a default plant. You can't survive anymore.
It's just disappointing. As someone that, honestly, I mean, I think you should really have to not be worried about, you know, this big explosion going on, but I don't know if you should be too worried about getting opt through the smoke yet. It does happen, right? Oh my goodness. Bit of a blunder with the nade right there. Unfortunate, but I mean, still up a man. Our Kentucky.
But RIT not other than yet, considering they are just the one man down. Benji yawned, but mid control in the hands of the Tigers, and the moment they should be able to move forward soon enough. There is some tentative control up on Catwalk, but I think we're what is with this A rotate right now? Kentucky, they've got 3 at A. As soon as the utility comes up Catwalk, though, they're insta rotating back 1B.
Insta-rotating indeed, but up con, they will have no chance. Maybe they've rotated correctly, but now you are going to be exposed on your balcony. Can't trade it. 2 goes away. Make it 3. K2 finally answers back, but the damage has been done.
Nominal crossfire on the site. K2 looking to 1v5. That's the requirement. 30 seconds. And he's not ready for another player in mid-window. It's Kentucky round, their 4th of the half. And answering, or sorry, their 5th of the half, answering back immediately right after RIT find their run of 2. RIT still can rebuy, but this is now almost them out of cash. They won't have full money next round.
And it takes a while to drain that out of the T side. I mean, it can really be quite bothersome, but now you're setting up these positions over towards Cat. You're doubled up, nade out. Geo lucky to find that one, but these players out in middle as well. You've got 2 players up on Cat. That's a great thing to find, but Proto answers back with the op.
It's a player we haven't gotten to see as much in the second half. That op not so required on that A exec that we saw. Now, big answering to that opening pick. A2 just defaulting a little bit towards B, pulling out some utility, but not just that, right? Making presence and allowing for Kentucky to get an inkling of someone being there, some threat available. Of course, it won't be the ultimate hit. That's over at A, and very interesting lurk onto the side. That flash will be good enough.
Good enough to get that kill indeed, and now you have an interesting position from Delino here at Palace, but both of these players so far away. Not sure it's going to matter just like that. K2 punishes onto that rotating player. Kaysen will try and get back in, but 12 looking to be found by RIT right here.
Seems likely. Kaysen desperately trying to get into position to support Nillo and Palace. First fight doesn't go disastrously. Kaysen's gonna molly off these players, but the bomb, it's ticking too far, and it's gone. No, Danilo.
Oh no.
I think he's out of time. Yeah. I don't think he had enough time, even if he had gotten on it immediately.
And that's a big asset that they give up as well. The op in that really desperate attempt at the end. I don't blame them for going for that, honestly. Maybe there's a lot more than just one world where he gets that. Really great timing found there, but RIT, they're not going to let those easy ones go, unfortunately.
Yeah, there's at least 47 worlds where that is a ninja. Tough situation for Kentucky. Their map pick not going well. K2 just going to lurk out A. There's contact out at the A site, and first shot hits. The second, no. It's 5-7 from range. Drew will go down after that one.
Delino back in here from underpass, rifle on his person. Can he make things happen before RIT put this thing to overpass? Smokes down. Could this be one more post plant?
Nice find from Danilo. That's going to give them something to work from. The issue is the weaponry, and they're all coming from the same position. Benji in a good spot. Flashbang doesn't connect to anybody. Now Benji can get activated with Proto's help. He'll shut him down. Proto ending that game with 23 frags, but a team effort as it's a 13-8 scoreline.
13-8 indeed. And I mean, Mirage, it kind of goes the way we expected. You know, they give it a great crack. Kentucky, they really do. And RIT, they stayed up to the challenge. There were moments in the second half there where honestly it can go either way, you know, and they may get their own map pick, but looks like we're at an overpass.
Yeah, I mean, I think that in general, RIT just kind of, that good start that they had was just a little too much to overcome. If Kentucky had been able to find a bit of footing earlier in that matchup, then I think we would have been talking a very different story. Because ultimately, like, that's a very respectable scoreline, 13-8, isn't it?
Yeah, I would say so. I would say so. It's an interesting one, and I mean, honestly, you know, there is, like you said, I mean, it's almost perfect at a point where really, when you look at it story-wise, Kentucky probably could have did a little bit more, but they probably also could have done worse. So honestly, a great showing for it, and a momentum certainly there. I mean, certainly like the first best of three we had in that first map, chances to win it across the board. Obviously, when you have Proto performing like that, it's going to be very hard.
That it is. With that being said, hey, map number 2 coming up next. We talked about overpass and what that means typically for this RIT roster. Kentucky need it. It's a must win. We'll see what's coming up with that right after this break.
Los Angeles Comic-Con is back at the LA Convention Center December 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. Meet stars from hit movies and TV series like Matt Smith, Jamie Campbell Bower, Elijah Wood, Sean Astin, Rainn Wilson, and so much more. Shop over 800 exhibitors and artists. Experience the vibrant cosplay community and immerse yourself in the gaming and anime hall with tournaments for Mortal Kombat and Street Fighter all weekend long. Get your tickets for LA's favorite comic, gaming, anime, and pop culture convention at ComicConLA.com.
Heyo, and welcome back to some more Counter-Strike. This has been already a pretty darn good series. First map was close, despite the opening run of rounds going RIT's way. Kentucky making their way back in that, and they were nearly able to make the comeback, but RIT closed it. Before we jump into the action, though, you just got done watching some pretty awesome stuff. All of that about LA Comic-Con, which, listen, hey, they are producing an expansive and exciting gaming, esports, and anime experience in the West Hall of the LA Convention Center. That is happening December 1st through the 3rd. So you do not want to miss it. Your pass gets you access to gaming stage tournaments, stream studio with your favorite streamers, free play zone with the hottest PC and console games, in the mix with over 10 indie games with developers on site, which is a whole ton of fun. If you haven't been to one of these conventions, it's a blast. All you have to do is click on the panel down below, use the promo code LEVELUP, that's LEVELUP, to get $5 off of your gaming pass. Make sure to do that right now. Click the panel right down below and use that promo code LEVELUP, because you definitely do not want to miss it. We are not missing any of the action, though, here as we jump into it. We have map number 2 getting ready to get started.
Yes, we do. But during this break, Vinny, we had a very, very interesting happening go on, right? And I mean, you did see we saw Michigan Tech. We saw them drop to Kansas State, probably in one of, if not the biggest upset of the season. It's a mouthful.
Wow.
It certainly is. And I am just not even believing it myself, Vincent.
I mean, sorry, you've caught me entirely off guard. That is a game. Respect to Kansas State. They've been an upset team for the last, full 3 seasons of the NASCAR League. So, at this point, should we be surprised? Probably not. But Michigan Tech, if you don't know, that is a team with the plaudits and with the firepower to take it to the best of the best. That's insanity. That's a team that could have been in the same conversation as like a Stony Brook or an RIT on paper at the very least. Incredible to see Kansas make that upset.
No, certainly so. I want to shout out Buttermilk. I know those guys are hyped up in Kansas, but that will be a funny one to watch as they move on to play the winner of GMU versus Stony Brook, which we were just talking about, and that will be in the other side of the bracket. But up here, we are getting this thing going here in a moment on Overpass, and we talked about how strong Overpass was for the side of RIT. We're going to be jumping back into that, I believe, right now, and I really am just looking forward to seeing what MJB has got on this one because it's been hyped up.
That it has, CT side though to get started for Kentucky, that feels good. It's one of those maps, and there's some of them, Nuke being one of them we talked about before, where getting that early CT start can feel fantastic. And Kentucky already getting there with the pistol round victory. We've got the MP9s out in round numero dos. And it's looking pretty much free. Danilo starting out in a way that we didn't get to see him in the last map. 6-1. The ace is there.
And that will be very, very nice. Finishing that up at a 7-1 scoreline. That is shocking 2 rounds in. You've got to be feeling good about it.
Getting Danilo this activated just It feels like the win con for Kentucky based on how close they brought it in that first map. And he's got an op into round 3. Incredible.
That is almost unbelievable. I am a little dumbfounded at seeing that big green out, but when you have the money makers like that in the MP9, I mean, you can mess around and really afford this gun this early. And I mean, you look at it, he has the full belt too. This man is Mr. Millions, but right now he is starting us off with the opening kill, and it's a very nice one.
Well, that's a kill that Benji gets 9 times out of 10. It'll be an upgrade available as Rue goes down elsewhere. Geo with the short control that Kentucky currently have, trying to buy some space and time. A2, nice shot, traded out immediately. It's a 2-on-3.
Oh, and damage done. That's a dink through the edge of that dumpster, but MJB with a nice one tap onto Geo has secured them the site for a minute. Cool Noob and Shen will have to rotate in to make a point.
Proto in this post plant. Currently solo. Heard him come out. This is massive. He's isolated the first duel. Is he sticking it? Not a chance. Great swing from Proto, and he's doubled it up. 2 frags in the clutch 1v2, but RIT on 1.
And then that op also delivered to the hands of Proto. Could not have gone better right there, but you see that second player just tap the bomb, and then you see it all commence. Proto, what an absolute masterclass right there. And you get the big green at the same time. It's just beautiful.
And this is where, I'm not saying the op is the reason they're saving, but this is where Kentucky's investments in that last round come back, and you start to see why it's sometimes a risk. As much as Danilo, you know, huge impact, don't get me wrong, they're on an eco now.
Unfortunately, you can't do much against those weapons where it could be exploited on, but now K2 on the MAC-10. He'll be taking all of this space, but can't finish the job. Finished out by Benji. Has doubled up on it. Rue on a Galil. Nice little 3v3 to commence.
Jason searching for something more than a USPS. Currently in his inventory, Rue has more than that. Ooh, that's a massive win for Danilo on a dime, maneuvering around MJB. Danilo will go down shortly thereafter, and now no real chance at a round victory, but taking that off out of the hands of the T's would be nice, but Proto is there to win the duel. Benji on a quad. The anti-eco, they are good for it.
They are great for it indeed, but now they will get this buy back up, and RIT, they've matched these initial 2, and maybe that much more of the impressive ones. I mean, Kentucky were unfortunately really just dealing with the bonus right there. They win it at them, but you can't fault it for that. Now you're going into it, gun round v gun round. This will mean a lot going forward.
Oh, love the forward position from Danilo. The flashbang was phenomenal. K2 gonna feel very hard done by in there. Losing out. Rue, right, trying to provide support. It goes down to Benji on the swing from Connector, and the words are hard. The A site certainly not. RIT.
Now Geo. Oh, just have to back up on it, but they all line up for Kaysen. Kaysen, point on the spray like that. You have brought the round back. You've dragged it. What a spray.
Incredible timing from Kaysen, and that is round winning to be sure. Benji would require a 1v3 clutch, and with 50 HP already, he's not in the best of positions to do so. And look at how far Kaysen's run back. Just gives up all this space. Space that Benji just has to take time clearing out. Has to be aware of where these players could be located, but aren't.
And Benji discovers what is an empty world. He's just got to find a way back. 2 players over towards B, and Cool Noob, he is so far out of A that he is inside a bank. Whole site to play with for Benny. And a couple of smokes. A couple of nades, excuse me.
The good news here for Benji is that with the bomb and smokes and utility, he can get a plant.
Oh no.
He's not going to smoke it off. A bit of a whiff there. Spicy, but cool noob shuts it down. No, Geo. Geo fires hot. Pro tip.
Oh no.
Fire is hot.
Rochester. I can't believe that timing is unfortunately given up by Kaysen, but he takes control of it. Tech 9's up around the AK, and this is one that you don't want to play with. These guns can be deadly.
Fast up towards the short B position. This is a lot of control taken. Smoke goes out. This could be preempted. The flashbangs are great. Chain flashed off as Geo. Kaysen playing ring around the Rosie will line him up. 2 in a row. The MP9 for Geo. Good enough. Great tap from K2. Not even worried about Geo for the moment.
Oh, and that shot. That is insane. Running right just like that. Proto. Can you be the hero with Tech 9? Head pops up. It's pretty hard to find. 2 players going to be around this corner and tough to deal with. That is the 4th round from Kentucky.
Hey, CT side starting to look better and better. This quarterfinal matchup. Already seen a bit of an upset before. And Kentucky, they've done it before. Taking a map of this RIT squad. Overpass would be a big win early, but solid lead to begin this half. We've got a timeout here for RIT as, unfortunately, I didn't realize that was a force buy. They didn't have any money, which is a little weird because didn't they force buy last round too?
They're doubling down on it, Vincent. They got to get things going. Unfortunately, maybe not something that you're able to just keep doing consecutively. Now you're seeing why.
I mean, the first of those rounds, right, you're on a double eco, it totally makes sense, reasonable. That one, you had a good idea. Now it's just a run out B, but oh my goodness. Geo wrecked, but they run through the smoke, hoping for a bomb plant. Oh, that's a bit rough for Kaysen, but job is done. Bomb is down. Nade is out, and round is over.
That will be a very nice bomb plant to get down. Style points for the nade for Kaysen with another great hold, but currently, RIT, they just got a good chunk of change. Now this is maybe what will lead them into picking up a couple.
Yeah, MJB tossing the AWP out and over to presumably. Everybody else gonna get a full kit of nades and utility. It's the best smoke in the game right there. Is that monster smoke?
Love it. Nilo peeking out early. Not going to be getting that one over. 11-4 right now. You can't ask for much more. Kaysen 10-5 as well. Benji right around the corner from a player and is punished.
True. Surprising his teammate there a little bit. K2 gets a bit of a dink, but doesn't get anything further. And Geo's push through monster has netted him a frag as well. RIT in shambles at the moment. Up for Proto and MJB on the AK. 2v4. They still got to deal with a long player. Not being shy about this thing. Nade comes out. MJB goes down. Proto in the 1v3 now.
Bomb plant to be gained. Nice little bonus, but just taken out like that. The wall bang for it. 3 players stay alive, and Kentucky starting out on the favored side on this map. They are going to be living and thriving, and it found 6. First 8 off the board just like that, and you're being real successful.
We'll see how much further this goes, because I'd already say Kentucky, one or two more rounds and the job is done for the CT side, and they're looking poised to be going even further. The good news for Rochester Institute of Technology is that, hey, they do have the gun rounds keeping rolling now. loss bonus is what it is, and they've got a bomb plant as well.
Rifles back up for it. And see how they'd like to change things. It's got to happen now. And there's your opening kill, and that's going to be a head to find. Benji not exactly trading that one yet. We'll see if he's able to put it over the line, flash over, and a nice kill.
That was a phenomenal flash. Making up for the with spray, Proto unfortunately loses his fight. Not his day. G catching a timing, and Rue watching the other side. It's a 3-on-3. Winnable suddenly for RIT.
One player's still down here at B. Kaysen will join. And they're just going to try and lock in. They have the feeling that RIT, they have the same plan, and it's a good one. Now that door will swing open, and the cat will be out of the bag.
Cat just keeps climbing out of there. Geo. Playing from pit. This player at heaven. Molotov goes down, and it's actually Kaysen. And a phenomenal little off angle that is always so deadly. A second Molotov comes in. Get a smoke out for bridge, but is it a little too late?
Oh,
That's
no.
the question. Uni taking so much damage. Geo gonna get a free shot at Uni, but he'll stay alive for the time being. Nice find. Uni trying to turn, but Geo shuts him down.
Bomb plant as a bonus, but at this point, that's really going to be the minimum. I mean, you got to get more than that. Unfortunately, RIT, they drop another, going to go long on the search for that AWP as well, and I think they'll be able to collect it.
Yeah, I mean, I think that maybe you can correct me if I'm wrong, Marky, but I do feel like that the T side on Overpass, it's not harder per se, but I feel like momentum on Overpass is significantly stronger for some reason.
Certainly,
you notice the same thing.
I think this maybe has, I mean, unique is kind of a word that really is right next to Overpass. And I mean, when you kind of look at this map and I mean, you can kind of think, okay, you got this bomb site stacked up on each other. Is this similar to Nuke? No, it's not. I mean, that's maybe another map where you have some of that momentum to be carried over more than other times. But right now, sometimes when you get used to just the map aggression that your opponent takes, it's hard to break out of.
Bit of a tough task here. Uni catching an HE right between his teeth, unfortunately, at the beginning of this round, so he'll be knocked down to 44. Rue, easy find. Benji caught on the open. That's MGB on the trade. There was trades to be had. Directions is Danilo. Going back into position as MJB continues to take fights. One by one, the flashbang loses nothing at all. The smoke to cover off Danilo and hopefully provide some coverage.
Oh no, and they all swing in, and RIT all fall down. Uni last man alive, and I am shocked to how of Kentucky coming out swinging on their opponent's map pick so far. I don't know if we can really result it to the sides anymore. They just look to be more poised than RIT currently on their opponent's map pick.
Yeah, I mean, I think that there's a couple of things going on here. I mean, Danilo has to be a factor to talk about delivering on the AWP, but he was delivering on the pistol round and on the anti-eco, just consistently putting up numbers. Then Kaysen is the second guy. You're like, what is this guy doing? Just 14 and 8 at the moment, but that triple spray down really kind of felt as if it was a tide turner, considering the fact that RIT have not been able to win a round since then.
Right here into short, K2 with the only rifle. Tech 9s can get it done though, and they'll be pushing it forward, but they are all caught and shut down. This is a blowout right now.
Their domination. I mean, this Kentucky team are clearly showing that they have what it takes, that they are contenders, and fair enough, they are able to take this thus far 9-2. This is about to be the same scoreline we saw in first half of Mirage.
Certainly, and right now, with this situation being that it is, it's even more so, that much more different, but Delino, unfortunately, gonna come out of that one with just damage, but Kentucky, I have just been wondering, I mean, overpass on a map like RIT or against a team like RIT, this is one that's been pretty strong. I mean, maybe a blessing that they're picked into tonight.
Yeah, certainly seems like it for the moment, at least. Still some CS to play, though, as we are into the final round of the half. Victory here. Again, that 9-3 is where I would say can be a bit of a weird spot. You know, feels not that easy to come back and be good. Great dodge on that flashbang. Not sure what gave the indication, but Rue thought he was swinging into blind gamers and instead on the wrong side of an AK.
Geo just re-smoking in on short right now. These players grouping up to get this hit started. Smoke right over. The flashes will come. Uni, he is leaking right out as his team will fight on A. There's an opening kill on B, but Proto will get one back. Oppers back and forth, but now Geo from that position will be put down. Benji with a nice double and third for RIT.
Well, there it is. You know, minimum specs required here for RAT, but Kentucky, let's not get lost in the sauce to underscore the fact that this this Kentucky team have just devastated an RIT that we talked about it, right? You know, playoffs and grand finalist last semester, and now up against the wall on a map they enjoy.
Pistols out and underway. We know how important those have been in this series, but now K2 can click some heads, doesn't there, has to drop back to his duo.
Good decision to fall away. This pistol round, high value for certain. Jason spotted up one man. He spotted up a second. Knowledge on 2 of the 3 players actually over here at A, but Uni is actually still taking these fights. Can't quite find the headshots required, but takes a lot of time to do it and gives times for rotation. Danilo pushing out a man with a P250, and MJB pushed all the way through long, has caught another. Rue. Solo 1v3.
Timing could make it happen. Up long, separate these 1v1s. Now your first player over towards Dumpster is spotted, and now you're taken down from bathrooms. RIT, they get on the CT side and they pick up that pistol round, but this is my concern, is the flip of sides what gets them going.
This could be the case, but the good news is RIT get a little bit of an extra breath here without that bomb plant. And that kind of reminds me about one of our partners over at Extra Life. Just want to remind everybody that more than 100 players from over 20 teams are active in our super team page and have worked together to raise over $32,000 this year. You can join the growing list of Star League schools. You've already created your Extra Life team. You can connect with us on the Star League Discord to get your fundraising initiatives amplified. Make sure to do so and check them out. We love our partners over at Extra Life and want to see everything go well over there.
It's a beautiful program, but it's a beautiful day for some Counter-Strike as well. MJB thinks so, but unfortunately is glocked down, and now see if those Glocks can do any more. Benji is putting up the defense. 3 on the name. Can it be 4? It is.
MJB, a little bit of a rough spray there, but, you know, fortunately had some support. And say, round of a, what should be pretty free and ends up being free when it comes to the numbers game. Kentucky onto their AK buy. And this is where Kentucky can essentially just say no to the RIT comeback. If they just win this gun round, RIT are immediately back on an eco, and Kentucky have 10 rounds.
Kaysen holding the line with short right now. Wants to keep on to this lead. Knows how important the CT side can be, as that's what brought them their fortune. Boost up in short and now just getting off of it. Kaysen, I think, realizing that that was the case.
I think he heard the audio cue. Needs a fast flick. Great little back and forth there. Bait and switch maneuver. by RIT. Kentucky down to 4-on-5.
These players rotating back from B, looking to maybe get that quick rotation up at A ready because they know that this pressure is going to come here in Sands, and these smokes getting lined up right here by DeLillo. It's going to have to be a flash to maybe take a little bit more space just with what's in front of him because MJB is so close. And the bomb, oh, it swings out right in front of him, but Proto is just shut down like that. It's unbelievable, as now an opening into the site for sure.
The side, Benji goes down. This is a 2-on-2 though. Uni and K2 back for the retake. K2 coming from the flank is looking to try and deny bomb plant. Oh, speaking of bomb plant, not happening. A little bit of a stake there, but that'll just buy some extra time for RIT. K2 clearing things out towards the bathroom. Rue trying to play an off angle, and he's off enough. It's Uni who gets the first engagement for the CT side of the retake, and he just swings wide. Phenomenal work from Uni.
2 picked up just like that is very impressive. Uni just on it, and there you go. The opportunity that Kentucky had to say no has been denied, at least for the moment. 6-9 is your score. It gets expensive for RIT. They've got some money in the bank, but they've got to come out of those a little more clean.
Yeah, I think the bank account, like losing just one round on their or one player on their anti-eco is going to come back and really help RIT here. Proto getting the AWP out as well. Certainly feels like a massive win con available. I'll say MJB not playing quite up to the normal status I would have expected. But Benji really picking it up.
Oh, on that boost again, they didn't see it, and Benji, you say the name, and he delivers. 2 off quick vector play, but this B defense, they are here today. K2 with a double, and Uni comes in to finish us off.
Yeah, this is a little team effort on this comeback. 9 rounds to 3 in the first half, and it's cut the deficit just to 2. RIT have done the damage. Back under the gun round, though. Had a save, and that one didn't go so well. Speaking of numbers, those bank accounts starting to get pumped back up once again. The op or Danilo. That in your mind.
I will. 20 and 10. This man cannot be stopped. Flash over. Very high. Oh, Geo just sniped through it. Fully blind as well, but Danilo responds.
Oh, MJB had to look 2 directions at once and can't find the right decision. Cut to 3. Our RIT, the op falling away. Back down towards A. And here on B, Uni standing solo, but that's the equalizing frag required onto Danilo.
All comes out by the hands of Proto on that AWP. 3v3 in on it. Connector looking to be the next part to this plan. Uni holding on to B. Does hear that door open. I think we may have a split coming from Monster in the process, but a short smoke down in the meantime.
Good timing on that smoke. That's going to give Uni some space to work with, but it also gives Kentucky some time to group back up as they want to. They're just going to all group Monster. On one hand, good news. On the other, a lot to do. And a big win. That first duel for Uni is there. The op now set into motion. No smoke. Just a wide swing. Oh my goodness. Proto not expecting them to be so incredibly aggressive there, but the damage on that HE is huge.
Just playing with fire. And now Proto aiming above. Both these players, they are so low. One flash. Long range on these angles. A smoke to play with for another couple of seconds. Proto will close the line. One player at jail. He is not very hard to find, but a headshot back underway. K2, both these players not very far away. Spinning around, does get that headshot, but there it is. Rue will get double digits for Kentucky.
Cannot believe that Rue wins that round by just sitting in that smoke. That is incredible. I mean, he wasn't just sitting there, but he might as well have been. for all that it mattered, trying to play around the other side. Also, whoever was in jail that hit that shot on the Proto, incredible shot.
No,
I don't know
certainly.
who that was. That was insanity.
And one that was an absolute must-have, right? Coming up against the Opper there, but now there'll have to be a response by RIT. This is the end of their money. They've even got the op up on it, and they've already lost a player. There goes Benji.
That's the big heavy hitter. Straight up hitting the B side almost immediately. Molly to try and separate them out, but even then, K2 falls, as does Uni. MJP and Proto, they're on a save. Minute 22, and the call is get the heck out of there.
Hunker down, try and save these rifles into the next. It's that op up for Proto. MJB has got this M4. They are so separated from each other. Just got to stay alive for a little bit longer.
Kentucky's starting to find their groove on the T side. And like you said, the money for RIT is certainly faltering here. I mean, 2 saved guns is great, but I don't even think this will be enough to net them a buy. On the plus side, loss bonus is such that they could save 1 by next. Do you want to give up 12? That's the question.
Oh my goodness. I certainly wouldn't.
Neither do RIT. MP9s for everybody. The M4 and AWP saved from round 18. Well, they're just sending it.
They are right into short. They know where this bunch of players is, and now they've got to respond to it.
This is gonna, I mean, this is looking like it's going to be a straight up B exec. Kentucky have really no presence anywhere else on the map. Just threw 1 flash and a nade at the A site. And then they fell back. A2 needs a miracle.
Oh, there is an opening kill, and now it is Benji. Place and the time to do it, but only 1. And now Proto, he is mollied out as well. MJB, you can only run in, but how much more is there to do?
Molotov a little bit too deep for Proto. Tries to take a first shot. Hears him in pit. Knows that MJB about to be in trouble. The timing on that nade swap is just so unfortunate. Gotta go. Gotta make this happen. There's a kit for Proto at least.
Gotta clear that close player. Oh, that's a big win. But now Rue, he can just pair up with this player. 1v1 for MJB is taken care of. 12 found for Kentucky. We're looking to go to Anubis.
That we are. It's a last gasp here for RIT in the second of these maps. We're back onto the MP9s of Hamas for Benji and for MJB. Or actually, MJB opting for the MP9 at last moment.
Interesting. Gotta go for it all here. Gotta get those SMGs, unfortunately. Not such a horrible place to be. But the FAMAS, it's also a point of contact. Proto to be contacted first, and is now handling himself for a moment. Gets that headshot. Can he make it double? It is trouble. That comes for Cool Noob. That is unfortunate.
Well, that's the crazy plays that we've been needing to see here for RIT. If they want to bring this back, they got to find 5 rounds in a row, and this being their first opportunity, but by no means a guarantee. With that frag found, Kentucky, we're in a 3-on-4 with the weaponry advantage still very significant for the University of Kentucky.
Moving up along late. Op still up. Double AK. Not much utility to try and be so bothersome towards that Kentucky side. MJ Weeby will go searching for something, though.
This is actually going to be a bit of a false sense, as MJB's clearing all of Connector. Meanwhile, all of Kentucky, they're all long, and everybody's rotated off A for the moment. Only now are they starting to figure out, hey, yeah, things are going wrong. Interesting. Smoke able to isolate the first of these gunfights. Benji starting to burn the Molotov, but still winning shots. It's Famas is singing in his hands. Benji gets them all.
What a beautiful song indeed. The FAMAS picks them all up. Op recovered as well. RIT, there's your first of the 5 found if they want to force OT. And you're going to be seeing a mix of Glocks, maybe some upgraded pistols here, dropped by Cool Noob.
Big upgrades. Danilo should be able to have a couple. Or he's just going to keep all the money and buy the op. Yeah, looks like it.
Can't find anything early. That was a nice swing and a miss, but they're hot to trot on it, Vincent.
Yeah, little NT moment right there for Proto. Be tough when they're on the run. Right up the long angle here for Kentucky.
Kaysen leading the charge. Glock, oh, just knocked down like that. Couple more players left on Benji at APC. Couple players passed, but now they have all got to be put down. Danilo all left alone.
Where's that smoke coming from?
Just tossed up. Looking for some sort of cover.
Yeah, I mean, I guess so. A little on the fly moment. Hey, can you toss the mid-back sight-ish smoke?
That is exactly what the call was, and a precise one at that.
Yeah.
Precise one at that.
I need you next time we're playing in a league match for you to call for that smoke, please.
I can do that. I can do that. I hope that you'll be able to execute it properly.
Of
It's quite
course.
a difficult one.
I will know exactly where you want it.
Amazing.
Definitely not dropping it at my feet.
Here we are. AK's back up for Kentucky as it's starting to get expensive. These are now situations that they can just not give up for free. I mean, there are only so many chances.
Yeah, it'd be a real shame for Kentucky not to be able to close this out. But they've got, like you said, a couple of more of these opportunities, and this being one of them. Already some short control. Fantastic work there. Getting map control. Part of the biggest, one of the biggest difficulties, I think, of Overpass is getting T-side map control. You know, fighting for whether it be bathroom or connector or short, you got to get into these positions, and Kentucky already in them in the majority of these spaces.
Ooh, and Root out here in short, and there is a nice kill taken out on MJB. If you're looking to put this thing into 13, that's a good way to start. K2's got to get creative.
He's certainly trying to. A2's lurking on Mirage was such a critical part of their victory. And K2, we talked about him, one of the most experienced players in this server. Watched for, but not seen. Geo will fall, more to be found, but Danilo, quicker to the trigger finger. Smoke for heaven, Molotov for barrel. It's the nade dropped right on the head of Kaysen to give the advantage back to RIT.
Cool Noob walking right back in. Amali and all left alone. Does do well to get the first. Proto and Uni back up. Uni, oh, here's the player approaching with that bomb. But now 10 separates RIT from overtime. If they are to bring out 2 more, you can send it all the way there.
Without the bomb plant, ooh, this is a tough decision. Kentucky should probably fly. They have 2 players with 6,700, and then 2 players who can't really buy. So they're okay. What they're gonna do is just have a free gun, a little hero rifle for Danilo. Somebody else will eco. Proto getting another opportunity, but again, a swift, very small margin for error there, and he can't find it.
23 and 15. Why would you not want to have the hero rifle on this man? But now MJB holding the line here at long. I wouldn't be surprised if we were to see that, but MJB looks like he missed the one head that pops up.
MJB tagged down pretty heavily. Now they're going to close the distance here. Oh my goodness, this Ott so close. It's dead for sure. MJB will get one. Benji the other on the damaged MJB player. Danilo, though, still up with the AK, and with the Tech 9, this is a 2-on-2.
a Kane and Og back up. But it all comes down to the positioning, specifically of Danilo. K2 spots one player. That is going to be 2 HP foe that is still around. Taken out now. But time to find out where Danilo is. Can't use that molly. Oh, wow. They peeked everywhere around it. Certainly so.
That was phenomenal. I mean, good respect shown as well to Danilo there. You know, I think if that guy, let's just say this, Marky, if that guy is like, I don't know, 10 and 18, they stick it.
Oh my goodness.
Am I wrong? Tell me
you're
I'm
not
wrong.
wrong. You're not wrong, Vincent. It's been a hectic one so far, and we're looking to keep it going here in Overpass. Just one round to separate Rochester from more playtime in this one. It would look to be taken in the 2-0 by them if they were to finish it out here. But Kentucky, they're looking to extend us over the line, but MJB is not. A nice one to find and damage as well.
That's information. 3 players spotted as well as the damage done, as you mentioned. Roto caught out that flashbang doing damage, and Benji now asked to do it once again, but he's just going to get the first. Uni rotating onto the side, but a Molotov in his way.
Bomb planted, and now they're going to have to fight for this one. RIT. Molly put in on it, and Kentucky, they will just dig their heels in. They don't want this one to go any further on map number 2. They need to close it right here in regulation.
Once again, Uni has that smoke. Juicy possibilities with that bad boy. Flashbang. Or actually, that's a smoke for Dumpster. Gonna be another Molotov. It's blocked, though. This is massive. Oh, no. K2 caught on rotation into the bomb. Uni kind of has to sick it, but he'll lose his life. There it is. The 13-11 score line means we head to Anubis. A map 3 required.
Map 3, we will go all the way. We're getting it all tonight, Vincent. A treat here in our second best of 3. And Kentucky, who knows that they have that life left in them? I mean, that was such a performance on map number 2 where really they might just falter, you know, if having a different mindset about it. But that was a very nice performance, and we're going all the way to Anubis.
Indeed, and I think there's a couple of points to be made. I mean, Danilo, we talked about is the it factor coming into this game, and then we talked about where he kind of got a little bit overwhelmed in that first game. There wasn't as much of an impact as we had hoped to see, and then you come to Overpass, and suddenly there's that impact and more going into it. And then as a team effort, I think that it was certainly some individual plays, like from Kaysen, like from Rue. There was a lot of moments there, but Danilo, the guy to talk about.
Yeah. I mean, Danilo, we kind of highlighted him in the pregame as, you know, being that of the experienced foe on the side of Kentucky. And I mean, it really showed there in the second map. Leadership, maybe not in the VC, but maybe by example in the server. 23 and 13 when he was picking up that hero rifle. And I mean, that's exactly why they handed it to him. That was a round that really showed exactly where their heads were at. It allowed them to have a lot more contention in that one, really bringing it to be a bothersome final round that they capture, 13-11.
Indeed. With that, Kentucky, congratulations on that map win, but it ain't over yet. We got Anubis right after this break. See you in a moment. Well, hello there. We have a third map of Counter-Strike left to play out. It's a quarterfinal matchup here between the Rochester Institute of Technology and the University of Kentucky. Both squads taking a map, but it was weird on each other's pick. Marky, what's up with that?
Yeah, it's a little sus, you know, maybe not how you'd really expect things to go, but I mean, honestly, sometimes that usually is how it sometimes happen. And I mean, flip-flop right back onto it. Mirage was a ball, but then so was Overpass. I mean, both of these sides really, and I mean, again, going back to ironically being the opposite teams on these picks, right, putting on a real clinic. I mean, Kentucky right there, it took me a while to really accept it. I'm like, where is this RIT comeback gonna come from, right? You're waiting for it because they really are dominant on Overpass. And I mean, honestly, you know what, we can really point to that being because Kentucky has played so great on that map. I mean, you can look at it right there, maybe you could be like, oh, we can point to the faults of RIT. That was because Kentucky outclassed them in that situation. And I mean, going into Anubis, it is anybody's series.
Yeah, I think so. And with that being said, before we jump into the conversations around Anubis, I have a question. That question is, Marky, are you ready to take the next steps? That is the next steps towards the Army ROTC, because they offer leadership training to prepare future officers in many fields, including like cybersecurity, engineering, and a whole bunch more. Make sure that you check things out, scan that QR code, and involved over there with the Army ROTC, one of our partners here at the NACE Star League. And as we jump into it, we got Anubis. One of my favorite maps, actually. I think officially Anubis is one of my favorite maps.
I think so too. I think it's definitely, you know, kind of chalked up here into my. I really love, you know, some of the oldies, but I mean, honestly, this thing shoots right up to the top of many people's lists because, hey man, it's so refreshing when we can get something like this. That's such a unique map, and honestly, just like this, right? We can drop right into canals and get it going. I mean, one of the best features on this map, get it started. You're right into it, Kentucky. You're trying to make things happen. Uni being pressured and he is put down.
The big frag right there. K2 at least getting one frag back, but hey, that is Proto and K2 in a very tough spot. Retaking into the B-bomb site. Tough in the best of situations with two alive. Even more difficult, both coming up from long. Trying to clear things out. Close in Palace is not going to work. K2 misses the mark. And it'll be Kentucky with another pistol round in their pocket.
Pistol round in the pocket indeed. And that will be a very nice one. A huge one of contention that we've heard so far. Obviously, throughout our best of threes tonight, we saw one team be absolutely perfect in them, but there you go, Kentucky, another huge one, and such a booster.
We'll stack up here in mid. You know, it's a classic, but a good one. Just trying to get something done. You can always get naded out of this, but we shall see. At the moment, it's looking very plausible. Some good flashbang. Benji will end up delivering a frag. Kateson's going to get two more out of that one. And though one frag is found, RIT limited to just that one.
Double up just like that. Get it going. T-side can be quite deadly. I mean, you know, in the maps that we've seen tonight, Vincent, you know, a discussion we've had a lot is really one of the questions of Counter-Strike, really, what's the meaning of life, right? Which side is going to be more sided on which map at what time, right? It's that always ending goal, you know, that we have. And right now, this T side on Anubis is so deadly. It's really hard to try and stop things on the CT side when it gets going. And Benji will try to do that, pairing up with MJB, peeking in there from camera. Gets a nice opener. Benji now has to swing, does the damage, but is put down.
That team feels a little bit bad for Benji. Fortunately, the damage done enough. Re-smoke for Tevin. Trying to isolate a duel. Proto does so, but doesn't win it. And the Benji tagged up Rue, now tagged down and out. K2 and Uni. Money speed starting to get a little bit low for K2, especially. Uni's going to win another duel, and K2 his own. Maybe get this defuse going. Smoke for the bomb and a flash for the player, but it's Danilo on the site. And it ain't HP low enough as he gets the spray through the smoke. 1v2 for Danilo. He's continuing right where he left off.
And what you were actively seeing is the University of Kentucky rising up. This is their best of 3. This is why the beauty of Counter-Strike is here, is because any given day you can see an upset like this. Not saying it's that huge of a margin, but right now Kentucky definitely were the underdogs coming into this game. They're heating up 3 rounds in a row. This T side, it can get out of hand fast.
Yeah, and gotta keep in mind, I mean, I hesitate to bring it up because, hey, he's my friend, but MJB, not currently the performance that I would tend to expect, right? Like, we've seen some individual moments, especially in map 1 from Proto. Benji kind of had a crazy showing in map number 2, but I feel like some of the heaviest hitters here for RIT are a bit missing right this moment.
Yeah, you know, a friend to us, but sometimes the biggest enemy, it can be yourself, and maybe having to get over a mental hurdle. We know MJB, he can really stay in the game, but right now, map 3, it's as challenging as ever mentally. Physically, you got to be in this thing, precise at every point. Benji now knocking at the door. 3 players looking to be survived on over if Benji is unsuccessful, and apparently that is the case. 4 found for Kentucky.
Yeah, well played. Well played indeed. A little bit of damage done there, but here's something that I want to bring back up. Proto didn't quite get it I would hope he could have on Overpass. A lot of people talk about Overpass as an opper's playground on the CT side especially. I think we start calling the CT side of Anubis the same thing.
Yeah, I would say so.
You can be anywhere. So. Literally anywhere you want.
Proto. Oh, just that slight angle you're going to miss on it. Unfortunate. Didn't slip all the way over from that angle, but just that spam that does come through. And Kentucky, they know exactly what they have right now. Obviously, they're excited to be up like this, but your nerve is not going to let up. The greatest competitors are the ones that can play from ahead the best and not compensate for something that's not there. Now, RIT, you got to do more than what's been presented, and it's going to come with little plays like this. Pop through the smoke, and you got to get them both. That is beautiful.
That's the comeback type of maneuver that RIT needed right now. MJB spammed through the smoke early, lost out in mid, but need to breach the smoke, and suddenly we're back into man advantage for RIT. They backed up. Not fully, still have control of the B site, but with 40 seconds remaining, that's an audio cue for backside that K2 didn't want to give away, I don't think. He's jump spotting, trying to look out. And Molotov going to force Rue out wide, but Rue still wins the fight.
Uni, does not survive for very much longer. Proto, in this 1v2, going to come in 18 seconds left, and these digits will be punched in, but no smoke for the bomb, and they are hot to trot with these AKs.
When HE and Molotov just picked up by Proto, both have a kit. Great angle. I love that second angle on that pillar. It's so phenomenal because you check the close angle, you don't check the far angle. Cool Noob in the 1v1 against Proto. Time starting to take down. Proto will win the fight. He's got the time, and he's got the round. Fantastic clutch up there from Proto.
Yes, a very nice kill on the AWP as well. Beautiful flick. 2 for the clutch, and that's 1 for Rochester as they finally get up their first round CT side of Anubis. And I mean, this is going to be a challenging scenario until you really do just flip sides. I mean, you know, you can think back to the times, right? This is not nearly as scary as a scenario, say, you know, like we were talking about before, CT side train, right? Sometimes like that, you know, you can have a really sided affair. Not happening at the moment, but currently it might feel that way score-wise if Rochester aren't able to double up right now.
Hey, but look, Kentucky, they're in a bit of a weird spot, right? 3 MAC-10s in this round. Ro8 gets the first shot. Molotov'd off. He'll get a bit of damage done, but running through that smoke, Ru has the win. MJB coming to save the day. He'll isolate another fight, but Danilo is winning the day. The MP9 falls, and now Uni required to clutch.
Uni, can he teach him a lesson? Nades in as well. Does miss on it. Player at the pillar. Can you move forward? Found on number 1. Swing forward. Danilo is incredible. 5 found for Kentucky.
Danilo has solidified himself as that guy that is there every time for Kentucky. Maybe a slow start in the map on Mirage, but in this just 6 rounds in Marquee, Danilo has a 1v2 and a 1v1 to keep Kentucky building this lead.
Full Deagle squad out with 157 joining the bunch. 5-7 is really one that I'm a big fan of, Vincent. I know that you're very anti-CZ, but I'm very pro 5-7. And I mean, Deagle, that's another class of weapon, but 5-7, you can get this thing going. Deagle, maybe to be called upon. This is an angle that you can get flashed in on. Both of these players facing it, they could be blind. And now this is when you strike. 2 frags go the way of the players that just stay patient. K2, he will stay here, and that is a big one.
This is a massive round if RIT can close it out. But listen, Kaysen, he's 13-3 right now. I mean, I talked about Danilo a second ago. I should have been talking about Kaysen, to be fair. He's looking for more. Cool Noob will fall. That's MJB finding success, and Benji from mid. That's a massive win. RIT turning the tide of this map with that win because it resets the Kentucky economy.
Yeah, you make things expensive for the T side, and eventually it will crumble. Now you're 5-2 right now. You're going to get a great buy in this one, whereas, you know, Kentucky, they feel as if right now they need to just extend their lead as far as they can. Maybe they need to humble themselves and really just wait the one out, but these guys have proven me wrong time and time again. They can get it done with the Tech 9s. They can get it done with anything. K2 looks to be flabbergasted. You see him get it done. Vincent shutting me right up. This thing is insane.
I mean, just an absurd moment. MJB on an op right now. I mean, this is just not a situation where you go for it, I don't think. MJB doesn't spot the man at the back of the pillar. That's about all she wrote. Nice double swing, but it wasn't even required. Danilo's opt to shut it down. And the way that Kentucky have been able to already on this map use lesser weaponry, MAC-10s, Tech 9s, etc., to just change the pace and fully disrupt RIT is incredible.
It certainly is. Right now, Kentucky going to continue this thing going. Ro8, one of your players that you would like to see maybe get this thing a little more heated up on his side, sitting at 4-7 right now. K2 doing a good job, but you were talking about it as well. It's unfortunate that, you know, it's a player that we're a big fan of, right? MJB, I mean, but right now, this is where it all needs to happen. Map number 3, the best of 3, quarterfinals. You can't let it all go down here. If you can't get it done in the scoreline, which really, who even keeps track of those? Proto does. When you get headshots like that. Those. Oh no. Oh no. I'm telling you, Vincent, the 5-7. Oh boy.
It is the way. You were right, Marky, the whole time. 5-7 goated. Time to roll, though, and still time to recover for Kentucky. Cool Noob, Case, and Danilo. These are the guys you want in the clutch. These are the guys that are required to make this comeback happen. It's a 5-on-3 favoring RIT.
Case in. Right around the corner. Benji with a nice trade, but only little room to survive. But player on the AK would have to do good right there. Unfortunately, has lost that point. Bomb recovered as well. To be planted. And Kaysen right around this. to be caught by Uni. MJB putting out a nice one, and they found Kaysen lacking. Now there is one player, and Uni does find it. My goodness, what a way to break right in.
How in the hell did that blind Danilo? That is absurd. Great flashbang from MJV. I think he's thinking the same thing. He's like, what? I flashed sight. Danilo was blind? Excuse me. Okay. Up, recovered, back over to Proto's capable hands. An AK as well for Uni is a plus. A third round as well here for Ro8. It's, I mean, I feel we've been singing maybe some doom and gloom a little bit here for Ro8, mostly because of how impressive Kentucky have played here. But this is now, once again, right back within spitting distance.
Ooh, and Proto usually won. They would hit. Can't be perfect all the time, though. Smoke to allow some escape.
That's a massive double kill from MJB. Exactly what you need from the mid player. Double kill, and then they take back mid, but it's all done. MJB job is over there. It's into position now to hold back any further mid aggression. Oh, that was so intelligent from Proto to continue holding that smoke as it was breached right in front of him. Unfortunately, another missed shot, though.
Still up a man, however. Down 3 rounds. Uni having to give middle attention. But maybe, just for the moment, considering the split. Now this is obvious. Well and into the site now is Geo and has gone down. 1 kill back. Lurked in through mid. 1v1 on the site right now could secure this into a 1v2. Interesting movement. Does take care of it. Delino 1v2.
But not to be. Great confirmation there on the AUG for K2. He'll upgrade to the AK-47 as well. In Kentucky, I think they're broke now. Yeah, this is money evaporated from their bank accounts. No longer able to make investments, and that doesn't mean anything because we've already seen what Kentucky do on these half-by rounds. This one's going to be tougher, the toughest they've had. It's bottoms, and that's it.
Got 1 smoke, 1 flash, keep it going. Molotov is out, but now, oh my goodness. All stopped and chopped up right into the grinder is now, hello. He's going to have to go back and searching for something.
He's in search for the rest of his team, hoping to find them, but I tell you they are coming back from the grave soon, in about a minute 22 at most. I bring tidings of great joy. Your friends will return.
They will. And just maybe have a little bit of a, I don't know what nationality it coined it originally. I think it was the Swedish timeout, the French timeout. There we go. Yes, Mr. Apex. He's maybe chalking it up as a leader right now as he...
Wait, hold on a second. Apex?
Yes, man. Calling the...
That was not originally from Apex.
That's actually correct. He's the new era French IGL. Yes, that's existence. You're correct. You're correct. The Gen Z is showing.
I gotta school the young bloods on the Counter-Strike lore. Can't allow that incredible misinformation to be spread on the internet.
One of my favorite pastimes indeed. But Dillo, he's looking to get this thing started, kicking it right off with this fight in the middle. MJB does have to back up on it, but the 6-8 rifler has managed quite the comeback now. Boost up. Oh, I love this.
Yeah, pretty common boost. I feel like it's been a little bit less used recently because of this double molly mid take being so strong. They actually missed the molly door, and the Oppa Proto dispatching Danilo. There's MGB getting activated, and with Proto getting another frag, mid is closed, Marky. No business to be had in this area.
Certainly not. MJB right around the corner from it as you can pull this thing into a 6-6. I can't believe I'm saying that, Vincent. It looks so good for Kentucky. They may have just dropped the ball.
Yeah, it's a tough situation to be sure. But hey, listen, props to Ro8, a big comeback there in that one as well. I think everybody, like across the board, really finding impact towards the latter end of the first half. Now Kentucky onto their CT side. They can keep winning pistol rounds like this. They'll be just fine.
See him get to it. B is going to be the destination tonight. And for the final pistol round of our varsity premier playoffs, in this one, Ro8 right around the corner from it. One player each removed to make that double for the side of the CTs, who just double it right back up. 3v3 underway.
Well, good post-plant positioning, though. They've all gotten out, gotten into good spots. Time to roll. That's Uni. Picking up a frag. K2 playing hard to get here in E-Box. They got to clear it all out. He's finally dispatched. Now MJB required in the clutch. Half that bomb ticked away. There isn't a kit on either side of this one. Got to isolate the duel. MJB's done just that. He's not sticking on the bomb. The reload comes through. MJB has won this one, and he knows it. The all right click to get the burst out.
MJB finds it. With all the time remaining, we saw a scenario like that earlier in this map where you couldn't run away from it. MJB, perfect for it, 10 and 8. Maybe it took us doubting him on the cast, but usually when I do it, it works.
Hey, vintage MJB moment right there. Clutching up the 1v2 or the pistol round in the final half of this varsity premier matchup. Remember, this is not double elim. This is single elim. You go home if you lose right here. And I can tell you, neither squad looking to do that for the moment. The bye for Kentucky, non-existent. It's got some USPs and a couple of 250s.
All right, T. It may just look to close this one with some newfound momentum. You can find 8 right now.
Whoa, Mark.
Hey, man. This is what I'm talking about. T side on this map is really just that ticket to success. The fact that you're able to find that 6 from the CT side is huge, and you've really put in the foundation to lay the dominance like this, Vincent. I mean, this is insane. Ro8 last man alive, and you're coming out with the perfect house.
Marky, they're USPs! They're
Perfect.
USPs!
Chef's kiss.
Give him a
Chef's kiss
chance
against
with
the
guns,
ego.
Marky. I'll
see
give
it.
you this. The momentum on the T side of this map is absolutely as you describe it. Yet, Kentucky by no means out of this one here. Their first gun round only just now starting to occur. A little lackluster when it comes to utility, but that's the way it goes on the CT side if you can't get too much done on that anti-eco.
Let's see if those cats can really get wild. They would need here just quite the showing on this first gun round. A little early with the nades, feeling those pockets quite empty. Smoke's put out again, but RIT, they just look to go slow and steady because they want to win the race.
They're Wildcats, not tortoises. Silly goose.
Womp.
Sorry. I had to do it to you. Ro8 makes his way up to E-Box, and in the meantime, Uni has found a nice frag. I'm kind of impressed with what Uni's done this series overall. Danilo can't get but just the one frag as the MAC-10 overwhelms him. 2v3, but HP for K2 is quite the low situation.
Cool Noob trying to get in on that spam. Nobody's blaming you, but unfortunately not looking successful. Kaysen just walking back out on it. And now they're just going to save. This will be quite the situation for it. Coming out with 3 instead of that 5 is what you're going to expect, but Molly late on it to try and just make sure that nobody's getting that defuse. Everybody save over your Galils, because look at their money. I mean, that was a bonus, no kidding.
Yeah, that feels good for RIT for certain, but K2 is gonna go down. I mean, you've just given up a Galil, so it's not that big a deal. What it is going to be a bigger deal is that Kentucky have those 2 rifles to give over. They can both drop a gun and then get a MAC-10, an MP9, and have better utility, honestly, than they had last round.
Certainly so. See where they decide to move into. Bit of a more standard start with it. Last time you were really heavy towards that bottom of Canal, trying to get this boost going in middle again. Maybe trying to just lurch through the smoke. That's the plan for it. See what they can find. They've gotten quite far. And Danilo, he might not be ready for it, but he is. Wow. And now can almost double up, but just dies to the fire.
Yeah, his exit bathed with flame. Right behind him, MJB will lead the charge onto the A site. Can't quite get the entry. Great fraction come in, but it's a little bit difficult. Slippery on that site. It's cool noob. As he comes through the smoke, though, Geo dispatched with massive victory there, and they all fall at the same time. RIT picking up double digits.
And there it is. Double digits found, 4 in a row. They are running this thing out. They are going out of the tunnel. They want to get it started. The victory celebration, that is. But still a little ways to go. 3 more to be crowned.
Kentucky sort of having to just give up on their force buying aspirations for the moment. They have a couple of extra upgrades, and oh my goodness, what an aggressive move of MJB. Just running out towards B and allowing for Geo to really do some work with that MP9. This is bad news. Oh my goodness, K2 caught without his gun out. Uh-oh. Marky, this is getting scary.
Proto has a bomb on its back. That's something that'll calm you down. Certainly would for me. A little bit of control in the world at your palms. You can really work it to any way you would like. It seems to be towards this B site. I think this is where I would want to play in this situation as well. You really do have a lot of control as soon as you get in. CT side is a little bit of a long path, but you smoke off Temple. You can really control a lot of the site. But suddenly, these players on Kentucky, they should be ready to bounce right back to this. They're basically at the brunt of Temple. And Pronto, oh no. They might just meet right at the point, Vincent.
Yeah, Proto's trying to take this fight aggressively, which I can respect, but he's not looking for mid. And I love Kentucky sticking together there. You know, there's an argument to play passive at both sides, but with the HP so very low, Kentucky just stick together. And that's another round. What is maybe the 3rd or 4th between both teams? Eco/half-buy win.
And a very, very nice one at that. Yeah, I don't know. You have a really, really good opportunity on to B, unfortunately. Walked right through. Met at middle. Right now. Into this gun round. We got a lot on the plate. Trying to get it done at Canal. It's nothing opening up there. It's all out of B.
Big B exec about to come through. Patience for the moment as the smoke fades. Take a shot, needs smoke. Here comes the exec, and it's 2 lined up for Rue, burning in the Molotov, and they're all going down. It's all going great for Rue. There's 4 frags. He's finally dispatched as MJB in the 1v5 is now all on his lonesome.
And he could do it. 2 nice headshots for MJB. We saw him clutch in this position before, but Nilo is just going to be putting that one forward. 2 rounds separating these 2 sides, and University of Kentucky suddenly waking up in this one, making this a second half to not miss.
Well, money's weird. A little bit of cash on MJB and Proto, but everybody else is pretty darn broke. RIT. They'll get a Mac 10 out on MJB. A little more money spent. Proto gonna keep it for them up, presumably.
Oh,
Benji taking his time, but hey, a little patience. That pays off. That's a Tech 9 getting an opening frag once again. These pistols are unstoppable.
especially when they're so close to you, just like this. RIT, they are hot to trot in this one. They're hungry for a victory. Mason, he'll just back up on it, not ready for it, and that's a big opening.
That's the upper down. Danilo's fallen. Rue, great frag, at least out in Canal, but an opening right over to the B site now. They've got confirmation on where the final two members are playing. Marky, RIT might have just picked up an 11th round. This op from Benji is cutting off rotations.
Sitting and staying. Lock this one in. You'll get number 11 quicker than you know. And I wouldn't even attempt this. Get these guns back. You'll need them for what is to be a desperate attempt here to come. But 4 players alive as well will mean a lot. You don't want to necessarily hunt these players down right now.
I mean, not much to hunt. One of them is MJB on a Mac 10, and I mean, I guess Proto now has a gun. Never mind. Ignore me. That's your teammate, cool noob. Oh, yeah, that's what you get for memeing a little bit, TBH.
Certainly so. You put that. I couldn't have put that better, if I'm being honest.
Like, as much as I would have liked to see them both get that save off, like, you gotta be aware. You gotta keep it as proactive as possible, and you know, it won't hurt the guns too much. Kentucky still have a pretty good buy.
Up as well. Rue peeking in and just dodging the big green for a moment. I don't know if you're even to re-peek on this one, though.
I can't even believe Rue was visible there. Barely showed a toe all around that corner.
Ooh, re-peeking in again. Maybe it's the shadows.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Good point.
And I know that people have some strong opinions about it. Obviously, a very strong engine with features like that we love. I mean, we are loving the shadows in this game, don't get me wrong, but maybe a point of discussion to be had. Yes.
Yeah, competitive integrity and the such. Kind of makes it difficult, but regardless, it is what it is in this case, and Proto delivering the opening pick. 50 seconds, though. Not a lot of time left, Marky.
Yeah, you got to go exploring for something now. Outside of B, looking to find match point finally. It would take them the whole journey. It would be very ironic to end right here where it all started. 30 seconds left on it with the bomb. It's getting closer. EO comes up with nothing. K2 gets the flank.
They're coming up long, and one in Palace. Cool noob in Palace is going to confirm that first victory. Danilo trying to escape. Able to do so. Still, a 2-on-4, the requirement here. It's a very large requirement to find, but hey, Danilo and Cool Noob not even going to give it a try. Decision made, 12 attained for RIT. They've got a couple opportunities to close it, but Kentucky, they aren't out of this one yet. Not by a long shot. And I think that it's fair to say here for Kentucky, gotta see Cool Noob and Geo step up a little bit more. I mean, when you got Kaysen on 19 and 15, Danilo 14 and 12, and Rue 18 and 15, and then some struggling players as well. That's where, in a close game like this, the differences are made, Marky, as not fun as it is to talk about.
No, certainly. And point you brought up earlier was really how this team been to these LAN finals, right? They are used to not only these high pressure LAN best of threes, but they're willing to go punch for punch with you online until 5 in the morning if need be. They'll be there, you know? And so right now, Kentucky is looking like a couple of their players, they've got a lot of gas in the tank left.
True story there. Kentucky Not the best of buys. 2 MP9s on Geo and Cool Noob, but everybody else has a rifle, and that rifle in Kaysen's hand, a deadly weapon.
K2 right around the corner from it. Up a man right now. Kentucky, if they want to stand and fight from this spot, pressed up against the wall, they would have to do quite a feat. Nilo going to be right here, back of the site. Hero off, time to shine, and you are put out just like the candle that was shining so bright. And now Benji, it's all back and forth. MJB gets one back, but who else to leave it to?
Roto gonna isolate that first fight. Doesn't realize that the other player is over in heaven. Not aware and not gonna find the timing either. Rue with a victory in the 1v1. Give Kentucky new life.
Rue does find that Rue's eventually just mixing up the position. Wide swing on the op. It's the old faithful play in online Counter-Strike. We love to see it. And I mean, right there, it's going to mean the difference between letting it all go. This is your season. You fought so hard, months through the entire semester. Well, you've been so hard studying, playing this Counter-Strike 2. It's a brand new game. Now, it needs to be defined by some players. Can you be one of them to do that in the first season of Premier here on CS2? And now when you're getting it done in the middle, it can really be quite a challenge. But what at cost? I mean, you've already lost the player. Now
two. Or not quite.
What?
Great turn from MJB. This will maybe cut this to a winnable scenario. MJB wanting the AWP. K2 walking out over at A. He's got a frag as well. The A side open, entirely given up, pushing through main. Oh my goodness, Rue is being loud about it, and MJB hears it. Oh my goodness, not like this. Kentucky about to give this up unless Danilo can clutch.
It would have to be Danilo. This is someone that we've depended on so far in a lot of situations. Right now, MJB, he is just halting the troops. Nobody making that next move, but finally a cool, collected walk towards A.
Staying grouped. That's the right call. Danilo ends up making the wrong decision. It's a gamble, Marky. It's a flip of a coin, a 50-50. Go A, go B. Danilo, he chose B, but they're at A. Tragic. Not even mistake, but gamble for Danilo, who's now got to make the rotation. Oh, Unitai not going to do it. Instead, rifle in hand.
It's tragic. Might need a new paddock to tell the time on that bomb. Ticking down for it. But 3 kills for MJB. Can he make it 4? K2 could do it as well. Would be a little bit of a Baro ace if it happened. But now you do it. MJB with a 4K, and Vincent, what a performance from the man. Find it in all 3 maps. They're going on to the next round.
That they are well deserved at that, and a victory that feels so hard fought for RIT. But beyond that, right, Kentucky, they had it all in the beginning of that map. Let's just talk timeline for a moment, Marky, because this timeline is crazy to think about, right? Kentucky come out, they swing wide, they're able to get those first couple of rounds on the board, and then they give up 2 rounds, but they continue to pick up 6 out of the first 8. 6 out of the first 8 rounds go to Kentucky. From there, equalized 6-6 at the half, and RIT keep rolling. And even then, it wasn't done yet. Kentucky with that near comeback, everything started to fall into place, but big step ups from some of the biggest players there from RIT across the board.
Certainly so. And, you know, you just got to highlight that veteran momentum that comes out from MJB. You know, it's got to come in the VC as well. You get some of those kills, those nice multi-frags late, get some of those rounds up on the board. But, I mean, it is such a feat that he has. I mean, MJB finding this in map 3 with his squad, Proto, everybody putting in the work. This was such a nice map 3 in Anubis that, honestly, you know, in consideration, not a lot of people expected us to get here. So, honestly, GG's to Kentucky. They had quite a season. Unfortunately, it does end tonight in a dogfight. 3 maps. They played their butts off, and unfortunately, they'll go home.
Yeah, I think that honestly, a bit of a devastating loss here for the Wildcats, but a team that I'm really excited to see more from soon because of the fact that they were able to make this run. Yeah, they had some losses during the regular season, but to go toe-to-toe, which with a team like Ro8, which there's not a lot of teams of this caliber left. I mean, with MTU gone, Stony Brook and Fisher kind of the only two in that category. To go toe-to-toe with such a good team just gives me so much hope for this this Wildcat roster. What I do know, Marky, is that we are getting an interview prepared. Before we get there, though, I think it's important that we mention one more time what we got going on here at the NACE Star League. We are partnering up with Ubisoft and debuting a video series a little later this fall featuring select schools that are actively involved in the Rainbow Six community. If you do have a strong competitive program or a vibrant community as well, or in addition to, hey, we want to hear from you. Just apply now over at playfly.com/rainbow-6, and you can get involved with all that we have to offer with this amazing situation in partnership with Ubisoft. Like I said, playfly.com/rainbow-6. Make sure you're getting involved.
No, certainly. I mean, we want to see what you guys got out there. And I mean, that's such a great program too. Rainbow Six, one of the best esports here in the collegiate scene. Such an exciting thing that they're building over there. So reach out if you have anything for it. But we're going to be having this interview come shortly. And I mean, my goodness, you know, we can recap this whole night. I mean, we had two series that really we couldn't have asked more for. I mean, maybe another map in the first one, but I think you're asking for a little too much there, right? You know, can't have it all sometimes.
Exactly, but we can have MJB coming in for the interview here for Ro8. And so with that, we welcome MJB to the show. First of all, fantastic hair, love the traffic cone look, I have to say. Congratulations on the win.
Thank you. A little scary there, but you know, we closed out, but overpass was something else. But I'm just glad we got the win at the end there.
Yeah, let's talk about overpass. I think that's a good place to start. I mean, Mirage just kind of went well because Proto dominated everybody. Like there was nothing going wrong on that map, I felt. But overpass was a fully different story. Talk to me about what you think started to go wrong there, and what you saw that Kentucky were doing right.
I just think we were really disjointed on Overpass tonight, which is usually not our normal selves. I think just a little bit of the mentality maybe slipped up after we took that map 1. And then after it's MR12, so we just kind of dug ourselves a hole that we couldn't eventually dig out of once we got onto our CT side. But it was pretty, like, one-dimensional out of them for the most part. I think we just ended up, like, taking some gunfights that we probably shouldn't have and just overall didn't play our best.
Yeah, I mean, it was a little bit of a stressful one to watch here from the desk as well, but we'll take you all the way back to map number 1. You know, you're going into a Mirage and, you know, maybe having some other expectations for what Kentucky were going to throw at you. That one went very, very well for you guys. How was that managed right into map number 2? I mean, that was a crazy feat, but, you know, it was a little shaky in map number 2.
Yeah, so this veto was in our prep notes. I think we knew this exact order of maps was pretty much going to come through. So we were prepared for Mirage. We were prepared for the entire series. We prepped Overpass and Anubis earlier today. So the preparation paid off. We got the maps that we thought we would get, and I think we played really well in Mirage. That was very strong. A couple of those T rounds came down to like 1v1s that just didn't end up going our way, and then obviously Overpass, we got some things to work on our T side, but I think overall our CT wasn't terrible. And then Anubis, we got 6 on CT side, and that's pretty much that. So
yeah. I mean, Anubis is one that we enjoy watching, but it really is just a lot of the time when we're casting, it's a little down to how are we doing side by side, right? Who's starting where? And I mean, it started to look that way towards the beginning of it, you know? Kentucky really got out to a really great start, and you guys ended up finishing that half 6-6. What's that like, starting out from that hole? And you guys were able to put that one back together.
Yeah, Proto won a massive clutch there, and I think that brought the energy back into that. Again, like there was the first gun round was a 1v1. We were just unfortunately not going our way. But that huge 2v1 clutch on the B side there really brought some energy back into the team, and I think we carried the momentum through to at least to the end of the half.
Yeah, I think final gameplay related question there. I want to ask how you keep mentally in the game, because I think that was a situation where individually a little bit of a struggle on overpass and into the first half of Anubis, and then you were in the same boat, winning a big clutch moment there in the pistol round in the second half, and starting to bring that back towards the end as well. How do you keep the mental strong in a game where things maybe not going right initially, either personally or just on the team? What do you do?
Well, mental definitely not the strongest tonight. However, we were able to bounce back. My teammates are goats, and they helped out with that. So appreciate the boys who were spamming Discord soundboards in my ear, which is very fun.
Nice.
Man.
Fantastic. Love to hear it. I mean, listen, get you some friends to spam Discord soundboards in your ear. That's clearly the best case. Well, MJB, thank you so much for coming and talking to us. Eyes forward now to what is confirmed to be Fisher College. Confidence going into that game? What are you guys feeling?
Yeah, we're confident. We beat them relatively convincingly 2-1 in another tournament the other day. So if we play like that, there's no reason why we can't beat them. If we play like we did on Overpass, it might be a little tough. So obviously they're a very good team. They got some very notable players. So we just got to be ready, prepared, and just ready to play our A game.
Awesome. Well, congratulations to you and the squad. We appreciate you taking the time. Any shout outs before we let you go?
Shout out my teammates. They're all legends hanging out. Here's one. There he is. Shout out my family. Shout out to the cast. You guys are all lovely gentlemen. And
thank you.
hopefully we win on Sunday. Let's go.
All right. Well, best of luck to you and the squad, MJB. Thanks so much and have a good one.
Peace. Thank you.
Always a fantastic job and as well, and always a fantastic time talking to Michael Jordan's brother, MJB. If you didn't know, that's what it stands for. Marky, any final thoughts before we look to kick this thing?
Yeah, man. Congratulations to RIT, and I'm definitely going to be looking forward to that game on Sunday. I mean, that is one that I think everybody should tune in for. Probably one of these matchups that you kind of create in your head at the beginning of the season. You go, this could be one in an important matchup later on to look forward to. And I mean, the prophecy reigns true. You do have that.
Exactly. Yeah, everything kind of looking forward to that. It's semi-finals. Booking a ticket to the LAN finals happening at Boise State. That is all happening on Sunday. We will be here for that, myself and Marky. Before we get going, I do want to say a quick shout out to all of our partners help bringing this season to life over at CDW, Alienware, Pizza Hut, Extra Life, Monster Energy, Duncan, Mavis, Odyssey Mushroom Elixir, US Army, ROTC, and LA Comic-Con. All of them helping make this broadcast and this season possible. So shout out to them. Huge thank you. And with that, we will see you on Sunday.